we moments away from the trial actually getting underway and the decision coming ahead. I was just watching the news feed. So until then, I'm gonna keep that on the side right here. But man, the community has been going off. I'm talking about both sides, all sides. Everybody got something to say. Everybody's a lawyer. Don't nobody believe nobody. They done threw out some false information about um, Metcalf's father and the DA and the judge all kicking it. That's supposed to be a fake picture. I mean, it's happening all over the place. But stick and stay tuned. We're gonna cover it all. And I'm finna go on right. I'm gonna just go ahead and get right on to the right on. Because when we talk about conspiring against somebody, let's just talk about the elephant in the room. Let's talk about this jury thing.
About that, as well as there being no black jury members on this trial. So can you explain to me the controversy behind that and how important jury selection is to a case? Can it really define its outcome here?
Yeah, jury selection is everything. If you can get the right jurors for your, who are hopefully going to see the case your way as a prosecutor, you're golden. But don't forget, you need 12 people on that jury who are going to find that you met your burden of proof. As the defense, I only need one person to say, hold on a second, this was a self-defense case, and my client potentially gets an acquittal. So there's the dichotomy in the jury selection. Now, the jury is supposed to reflect the community. It's supposed to be a jury of the defendant's peers. And I think from the defense perspective, they potentially have a get out of jail free card here. And as a prosecutor, as a former prosecutor, I cannot believe the prosecution actually made this mistake to exclude all of the African-American jurors, knowing you had an African-American defendant, knowing that you had a bunch of people outside the courthouse who feel that they're not, that their community, the African-American community, is not going to get a fair trial, I think is a big mistake. You got to remember, as a prosecutor, you're not there just to convict. Your job is to make sure that the defendant gets a fair trial. And I honestly think if there's a conviction here, I think the appellate court is going to take a very hard look at this and potentially reverse this. This is a serious mistake by the prosecution. And jury selection is one of the ways that an appellate court will reverse a conviction. So we'll have to see how this plays out. But if I was a prosecutor, I would never have done this. It's a mistake. And I think this is going to come back and haunt them.
And that you actually took the next question right from me. If we could see an appeal from this because maybe he doesn't feel that he is represented by his peers.
Yeah, I mean, how can he? I mean, he's an African-American young man in an African-American community, and he has no African-American jurors to decide his fate. How can that possibly be fair? Now, to the prosecution's point, I'm sure when the judge said, why are you striking this person? I think what they said was, we don't want any teachers on the panel, right? And when you do that once, okay, sounds okay. When you do it twice, maybe. But you start doing it 3 times and 4 times, you're like, hold on a second, there's a pattern here. And it's the pattern of striking those African-American jurors that I think is going to come back and bite the prosecution, in the proverbial backside. I really do. And I think the appellate court's going to find a problem with this.
And there was, I'm reading some of these other articles when it comes to these jury selection and how this was done throughout this case as well. It says, this is according to TMZ, saying one potential juror reportedly said controversy about that, as well as there being no black jury member.
That was one piece I wanted to bring up. What's up, chat? Mississippi in here. What's going on, Carolyn? How you feeling, Ma? So listen, that's one thing that I want to cover, the stacked up jury thing, for sure. Man, they give my little notifications all late. I'm glad y'all just piling in. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Say where you tapping in from like Miss Carolyn did. Y'all say what's up to Miss Carolyn in the chat. Make sure y'all tell me where y'all tapping in from. Hit that like so the conversation can get deep, because they don't be boosting messages like this when you be talking about that realness. So you understand? I had a couple people lined up that definitely wanted to say their piece about what's going on, and I'm gonna let them. But did y'all know this about the Metcalf twins, though? This happened in court just yesterday. Hold on.
His family family bullied us out of our, because I'm not going to deal with Jeff Metcalf and his family bullied us out of our seat, which is the trial. That's because he turned around and
Nah, I can't play that because they got that little,
This piece of shit.
that stupid music behind it. I hate when content creators do that. Put the little stupid music behind it. Y'all, first of all, if y'all don't know nothing about game, y'all ain't doing nothing but sharing revenue with the person that made that song and is, cutting into your monies. I don't know if you know that. It would be more advantageous for you to try to make some music of your own and put your own music and stream your own music behind your videos. But that's just me. Anyway, hold on real quick. I see the Raw getting deep up in here. What's up, Raw? Who all up in the Raw? I see y'all up in here real deep. So this is all based off everybody who said they seen the video yesterday. Nobody wanted to believe the black guy who said he seen the video yesterday. So what was said in the video of the black guy yesterday who said he seen the video?
The video was on 2 hours. Was it clear enough or was it fuzzy or what?
No, it was clear. It was clear enough where you can see the actual individual raindrops come by the camera.
Okay.
That's how clear it is. You actually see them walking up. You can see that Karmelo is already up under there. He's under there minding his business.
Dodging the rain or?
Yeah, it was still raining.
Right.
I'm from Louisville. So that day we were under a tornado watch.
Right.
And we were under thunderstorm warning. And we know we had already had some light rain then, and it started raining again. Then it was over with for the day. Okay. So that's kind of what happened on that day. But they were at a rain delay already. And so during that time when that happened, the twins, their two buddies, and a few other kids, because there was a few kids involved with them, they were all coming from the direction of the middle school, coming walking back up. Right. On the video, you can see those four that actually was involved, and maybe about 3 or 4 others that was with them, skipping up, trying to catch up behind. One veered off probably toward his way to go to the coach and kind of distract him a little bit. And then the other 4 came walking together. One went in front of them, went past. Right. The other 4 went and they surrounded Karmelo. If you're Karmelo.
And they showed that on that video.
It's on the video.
Okay, come on.
You can see him walk.
I'm going to say little stuff.
I'll put it this way.
Okay.
They actually tell you when you're watching the video, pay attention to this corner right here, because if you look anywhere else, you might miss different things. Okay. So watch those 4. Here they're 4 right there coming up. Right. That's exactly what they say. Okay. And so you have no way to be confused that it's those 4. Okay. So they come up, they surround them, and it's immediate moment of not even a few seconds of pause. Then that's when they jump. And so
they actually did jump him.
Yeah, it wasn't just no touch. It wasn't just all that moment. Yeah, it was a push. It was all kind of things. But Austin pushed, Hunter hit, and then everybody swung. But at the same time,
so it's more than the twins that got some licks on.
All 4.
So it showed that in the video.
Yes, in the video. So again, you got Hunter and Austin standing in the middle.
Okay. And
you have the light bright boy here, and you have the darker boy here. Okay. I think that's what I remember. So I have to go back and think about it. But that's where they were. One was going up and down while they were talking and kind of pushing or whatever he was doing. Austin and Hunter was in front. So where they're talking about grabbing bags, Hunter actually said that I grabbed his bag. Right. And then later on, he said that Austin threw the bag. Okay. Jeff also said the same thing. And so that's them both antagonizing. And we know under Texas law, I just have the fear that you're about to do something to me and you can get up out of here. Yeah, so you don't have to touch me. But at that point, he still stood there and stopped there. And whatever they say alleged was said, you don't know that until they get to it here. But once they did that, they started hitting him. Karmelo actually was able to back out and try to get away. So he was actually trying to get away the first time. Austin grabbed him, and you can see his hoodie coming out like this, and they brought him back in. Okay. And when they brought him back in, that's when you can see Austin put him in a headlock. You can see that all the rest of them are still hitting. That must be when the poke happened, because he was able to get out again. He backed out. He looked to the right. That's where the other little kid was filming, because they got some cell phone footage too. But that's where he was filming. He looked directly at him in his camera, and then he went this way to the left. He went down. He fell. And that's when they realized he was gone, because they were still punching. And when he fell, that's when they all turned around. They started chasing him. Austin tried to go chase him too, but he grabbed his chest. I guess he realized that something happened to him. And that's when he went down a little bit and he fell down. But all 3 of them were chasing. But Karmelo was so fast, he got away and went around to the coach. And so you can see them on the video pointing toward Karmelo and the coach. And I can imagine, because Karmelo out of the camera on that moment, that he was telling the coach what happened. And then that's when Hunter said he whipped his head around. That's a true statement. He just wasn't sitting with it. He whipped his head around. You see him on the video. And that's when he walked over to where Austin was, but he never touched him. So all that stuff about him rendering aid and holding his heart, and not, he never did that, because the coach grabbed him and he was holding him. So at the end of the day, that's kind of where the moment went. But they did assault him, and we'll just play the game. Even if it was just a push, you still assaulted him, because it was unwanted. By your own definition and your word of him saying that leave me alone and I'm not going, you assaulted him, period. But they did beat him. And if you look at the, not the photo that Fox 4 put out, because that was one that they actually edited. I have the emails to prove it. But the actual Collin County one, you can see the webs and stuff on his eye. You can see the bridge of his nose is swollen. You can see the webs under his neck. And so that's the reason why they edited the one from Fox and kind of airbrushed it. And you can see they put the locks of his hair that got taken out as well.
You seen the video, John? Was it clear enough?
So y'all want to ask like why is what he's saying, why it's relevant at all in any way? Well, he was the one that put in the request to see the video a long time ago, and he was granted access to go see said video. The one they showed him a big one on a 55-inch screen, and they showed a grainy one in court. But this is the same one that they didn't see in court. Not to mention the fact that before the case even started, we talking about the cover up with the what do you call that? Photoshop. They photoshopped his face. Guilty of murder. Guilty. Okay, here y'all come. Explain why he guilty of murder, and y'all probably like Chud, don't you? Chud your man, huh? Chud your guy? Is Chud your guy, bro? Because as soon as you say yeah, then we know where you're coming from. Is Chud your guy? Anyway, back to this scheduled program. Of course, the community is reacting in different ways. I don't necessarily like pessimistic views, but sometimes, you got to take what's obviously in front of your face and consider it as a possibility. Go ahead and speak.
Karmelo Anthony get railroaded by these white folk that's in cahoots with each other. The DA, the judge, and the jury, and the defense, and all these people in cahoots with each other. Don't get on this here app yelling and screaming and looking for equal rights or equal treatment or none of that shit. Cause they about to railroad the boy. Just if you're a leader or think you're a leader, it's about organizing and preparing for the next thing when they tell that boy he ain't getting no justice. Cause he ain't supposed to kill no white boy, even if they trying to do you something. You can't take a white life no matter what, even if they threatening your life. That's the message they sending.
Damn. Straight like that. Can you blame the brother for how he feeling though? I mean, has America showed anybody else anything different? Is the case not stacked up against him without a jury of his peers? I mean, come on now. So, towards misinformation, this was put out there, y'all, and it's been found out to not to be true. I wish it was, but it's found out to not to be true. Check it out.
Defend himself. Unalive a black guy. It's okay for Chud the Builder to defend himself. Unalive a black guy. It's okay for Rick Chow to chase down a 14-year-old child fleeing away from him and unalive him. But now it's wrong when a black kid, Karmelo Anthony, who was getting jumped by 4 white kids, defend himself in self-defense. Now it's wrong. You motherfuckers don't know justice. You don't want justice to be served. You want to be racist. You want to go against anything against black people. That's your motive. That's why you motherfuckers so miserable and depressed. And your life is sunken down. Your women don't even want your asses. Look at Chud the Builder. Eviction from his trailer. Don't have shit going for himself. Calling around begging people to bond him out. Just a typical racist, broke, 3-tooth bastards who ain't got shit going for theyself. You illiterate motherfuckers, you only know a couple of words, which is the N-word is one of them. You don't know too many words. You don't have too many words in your vocabulary. That's why you have to resort to racism, because you're a bunch of stupid, ignorant fucks. And everybody should be pointing and laughing at you ignorant fucks. Bunch of keyboard warriors want to play patriotism. Motherfuckers ain't King Arthur back in the medieval times. If that's what you want to think in your head, don't let these motherfuckers hype y'all up and think that it's that. It's okay for Chud the Builder
Y'all understand?
to defend him.
Oh yeah. No, not only that, no, it's escalating too, because people seeing through the BS. You understand what I'm saying? My man's got something to say, wicks and all.
They say Karmelo Anthony gotta have an all-white jury. When was the last time you seen an all-black jury judge a white person in America? That shit just not happening, good. But it always happens to the black person. Black man on trial, fighting for his life, all-white jury who can't possibly relate to him, conviction. But let it be a white person, they're gonna be a little bit more lenient. You know why? Because when they see a white person, they see their son, they see their nephew, they see the little boy next door, you know what I'm saying? They see their husband, they see the guy they work with, you know what I'm saying? But when they see a black person, they automatically think slave, Negro. That's how the motherfuckers think. I'm telling y'all, cuz.
Hey, and I can't fault the man. It's in your face right now. It's in your face right now. But there's one thing that nobody ever considered. Now, I heard this one, and I don't agree with him. I'm glad Karmelo had that Swiss Army knife, because the story would be different right now. But let him go ahead and rock.
Do you think that Metcalf would be dead if he would have kept his hands to himself? And the answer is no. So we're going to count that as a bad decision.
Okay.
Do you think that Metcalf would be alive if Karmelo didn't have a knife? And the answer is yes, I think he would. So so Karmelo made a bad decision by bringing the knife.
Nah, I don't agree with that.
Bad decisions. Do you think?
See, don't try to sprinkle a little bit of truth in with some BS. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it was a bad decision that he had that. Now it's time to talk to those who said they saw the 4K video. Oh, I just played that. I'm sure they're going to keep popping up. Hold on, let me check this case, because it's still going down live.
Years. And you may have the prosecution, saying, that Austin would have lived until, into his 70s. And that's what we've lost. And so you're going to have those arguments shaped, I think, real time. And a lot of jurors will often say that it's more difficult to decide the correct punishment in a case. And these are tougher areas for the lawyers as well. There's not, it's very low chance that a case gets reversed because the number is wrong, if you will. So you can't, if 20 can be right, 5 can be right, and 55 can be right. It's really all up to the jury. And so,
we watching it now.
The defense needs to attempt to put pressure on the jury, if you will, regarding the gravity of that. And the same with the state.
Right,
the
because you wouldn't
state will
expect
probably-
the state to suggest 10 or 20 years.
No, absolutely not. I don't think that they would suggest that. I think that they would suggest much more significant punishment numbers. You know, this kind of gets into what we would see in the way of what we're going to hear in punishment. If you know, so without knowing what evidence they intend to put on, if it's just what I would call the emotional impact evidence, but they could get into there may have been some scientific testing done, more information about Karmelo, maybe more about his background, and that, you know, maybe more questions, more answers as to what would have happened in his life that would have caused him to appear with a knife at the track meet this day. So those are all possibilities.
We're just getting an update from Lori Brown in real time. She is saying that the jury has left for a break. The sentencing phase is going to start next. So if anybody leaves the courtroom, they will not be allowed back inside. Russell Wilson, thank you so much for your insight. We do want to see what is going on outside of the Collin County Courthouse. So our Alex Boyer has been out there since this morning. So Alex, if you can hear me, just explain what you're seeing, what you're hearing, what is going on around you now that the verdict has been announced.
Sure, Eden. And Sean, I have to say, I was really surprised to hear the kind of lack of verbal reaction or kind of loud reaction when people here in the crowd learned that Karmelo Anthony was found guilty of murder. There was a crowd gathered in the front, as you had seen a short time ago and have been seen from our different camera angles, kind of gathered listening for those first words. They heard the guilty verdict. Many kind of moaned, and then the crowd has been like you're seeing it now. It's been interesting to watch from where I'm standing. I have not been able to follow the crowd as closely as some of our photographers. I can tell you that my colleague Amelia Jones is also kind of with the crowd, so she'll have more of that perspective as well. But the crowd has been very calm, some minor outbursts, and then they've been kind of following in like a group to one side of the courthouse to the other as my photographer John pans across our tent here and the trees. It's a little difficult to see, but then that is kind of where the bulk of the crowd is starting to move. So officers remain on the other side of the barrier that I mentioned that's separating the parking lot from the steps of the courthouse. Most people here seemingly seem to be taking those orders from officers into account and staying on this side of the barrier. But again, emotions differing to some degree, but no outright loud emotion. There was one moment where I did see a woman on the ground. I think you're maybe watching that now, if I can see from our screen here. Some people sitting on the ground kind of reacting to it that way. Folks were kind of following that person's lead and kind of saying, I heard somebody say, stick together, let's all stay together. And that seems to be the sentiment out here. But all in all, relatively calm. Still a very large police force, as you might expect, out here keeping an eye on things. I have noticed a couple of additional law enforcement trucks, vehicles, constable vehicles that are in the distance there, arriving, kind of creating more of a barrier separating the crowd from the entrance of the courthouse. But that is really what we are seeing right now, keeping an eye on the developments outside. Certainly a packed scene, though, as I mentioned earlier. I would say between kind of the scattered people across the parking lot and the group that has remained up front, easily a couple of hundred people are here. They were waiting to learn the fate of Karmelo Anthony, and now they know.
And we watched in real time as a woman was on the ground being consoled, visibly shaken by that verdict there.
Yeah, there is, in the same space today, Alex Boyer, joy and pain, you would agree, with those folk outside the Collin County Courthouse.
Oh, absolutely. You know, from day one, when I was here last Monday at the beginning of the jury selection process, keep in mind that there were some 600 potential jurors that were brought here. That was a massive number, larger than most high-profile case, because the judge said from the beginning that he was going to get this right, and both sides ending up with the panel that they chose. Again, as we knew early on when the jury was sat, there were no African Americans on this panel, but still several minorities on this panel that decided his fate. As you mentioned, though, Sean, certainly, of course, we have supporters for the Metcalf family, supporters for the Anthony family, and then just people in general who have really followed this case from the beginning, since it was such a high-profile tragedy from the get-go happening here in North Texas, involving these two young men, both 17 years old at the time, Karmelo Anthony 19 now. So, of course, lots of focus, eyes, and attention leading up to when everything began last Monday. As the week progressed and as both sides started to present their case, it would ebb and flow with the groups that we would see here, some groups louder than others. But then at the same time, we were also seeing people here that were very neutral, people that just wanted to come and pray with others and be someone that they could lend an ear to. I can tell you one day there was a pastor who was sitting out here, a non-denominational pastor who was here, and he was sitting down in a folding chair and offering free hugs and an ear, and I can tell you that certainly many people took him up on that. No doubt a lot of people are going to want to decompress and offload what they're learning today.
Yeah, and you talk about the many people, the supporters, but then you talk about those who weren't in either camp, people who wanted to see what justice would look like in this particular trial, and so they've seen it. They've seen it play out. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, no, absolutely. To your point, Sean, for many people, this was the first time they've ever come to a trial. And as you know, Sean, covering many yourself, and Eden as well, what these trials are like. But for the average citizen and resident, this isn't something they experience every day. And this, of course, was a very, very emotionally charged, high-profile case that drew a lot of opinion and feelings on either side, or as you mentioned, many folks just feeling bad, calling this a tragedy, which of course it was in and of itself. And then again, a lot of them coming today to the courthouse, wanting to be here in person for what you could argue, of course, is a moment in history, a sad history, of course, in terms of the gravity of the situation, justice being served by this jury, no matter what, how you feel about it on either side.
Absolutely, and that jury now, according to Lori Brown, is back in the courtroom. The punishment phase is underway. They have waived opening statements and are going straight to witnesses. One of the things that the judge said last week, if you remember, Alex, is that we're going to be done by Friday, June 12th. That was his goal, and at this rate, well, certainly now the verdict's returned. At this rate, they'll be done with punishment before the weekend.
Oh, absolutely. I think, many of my colleagues here that we've been speaking with from other outlets who have been covering this from day one, we certainly knew that the judge wanted a tight timeline. He said from day one that he was going to go from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. every day. He stuck to that. And in fact, he held testimony all day on Saturday. I was here for that as well. He went from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. And that was when the prosecution rested. Midday, or about 3 p.m. on Saturday is when the prosecution rested. We were surprised because we knew that there was 35 witnesses that were expected to testify. They ended up resting after the medical examiner having only called 21, but obviously they felt like they made their case, and based on what the verdict was today, they did in their eyes. So you're right, the judge saying that he wanted to have this wrapped up by this coming Friday. Again, here we now find ourselves in the sentencing phase, just shy of 3 o'clock on this day.
Right, and of course, it's not uncommon to have more names on your witness list than you actually call at any trial. Once you feel like you've made your point, once you feel like you've closed the circle, if you will, and nailed it down, that's when you stop. because you don't want to overwhelm your jurors. That's when you stop. And clearly, the defense thought a half dozen witnesses, we've made our point. All we need is to create this reasonable doubt. That doubt was not created on the question of murder.
And it looks like we are hearing from Karmelo Anthony's mother. I believe she has taken the stand.
Murder to Austin Metcalf in April of 2025. Now, in the state of Texas, it is not first-degree murder, second-degree murder. It is murder, first-degree felony. This is the highest count of murder that they have. And the penalty for this is 5 years to 99 years. This is an 18-year-old former high school student last year. And according to Texas law, the jury had to look at several theories that he intentionally and knowingly caused the death, or that he committed a serious bodily act that was dangerous, and that then caused the death. And the facts surrounding this are that they were two track team members, and Karmelo Anthony was under the tent of National High School where the victim, Austin Metcalf, was standing along with his teammates and others. And it went to a point where Austin, right there, that is the victim, told him, "Can you get out of our team tent?" And he said, "Touch me. You'll find out." Austin Metcalf touched him, according to the arrest report and trial testimony. And then the Karmelo Anthony said, "Well, push me. See what happens then." And he pushed him. And that is when Karmelo Anthony rummaged through his bag, took out a knife, and the jury has determined that when that knife went into the chest of the victim, Austin Metcalf, that was murder. And so in Texas, the penalty phase.
These demons and devils, man. Whoo-wee, man. Just take it all in, black people. Just take it all in. You know what? My optimistic, positive looking ass, this is actually good, man. Because there's still some niggas out there who don't think fat meat is greasy. And yeah, man, we've been in a race war forever, man. And this is a casualty of it. Straight up.
Range of 5 to 99 years. And the defense is going to try to get that down as close as they can to the 5 years. But the issue is he had a knife. We don't know why he had a knife. He did not take the stand. This was a self-defense case. And what was in Karmelo Anthony's head was so important, because if he subjectively believed that he was going to be killed or seriously bodily injured by Austin Metcalf, who is the victim now, then he had a right to take out a knife. But he did not take the stand to testify in his own defense, so we don't know what was in his mind. The jury could not consider that. What they do know was he had a knife. He had brought a knife to a track meet, which was on school grounds, which was illegal in the sense of what is appropriate at school.
Damn. They loving this, y'all. They loving it right now. They loving it. Yeah, y'all rejoice in your evilness. Y'all rejoice in it. We know who you is and what you're about. Y'all go ahead and rejoice in that. It is what it is. It's a sad day in America today. Straight up. It is what it is. Hold on. Let me get this other live popping real quick. Hold on real quick. Because it's
so interesting because, again, earlier this morning, the manslaughter charge was on the table as well for the jury to consider, and they decided to still go with that first degree.
Oh, hold on.
Not uncommon for a lesser included.
Hold on. Look at all the likes. Oh man, they out in full force right now, boy. They having a little pink parade right now. Hold on. Did y'all see the comment section in the jump? Oh, white fists. Y'all see that?
Charge to be added at the time that juries began deliberation.
You know what the thing about it is? They feel good about this because Chud is in jail. We'll see what happens with Chud too. If they let Chud off, boy, it's gonna be some shit. I just know it. I know it.
The defense wanted criminal department, until which time the Texas Department of the prison system.
Mm-hmm.
They come and get him and take him to a prison farm where he would begin.
And he's
serving
looking at quite a range, like we said, 5 years to 99 years in prison. Maybe the jury will consider the fact that he does not have a criminal history outside of this. That both of these students did well academically, that he did well academically. He did not have any other history of committing any other crimes. So I think the question here too is, which side of the spectrum are we looking at? Armelia Jones has also been covering this as part of our night side shift. She's been covering this trial. Amelia, can you just set the scene? Just tell us, where exactly are you? What are you seeing? What are you hearing from your sources? Just kind of fill us in on what's going on.
Absolutely, Eden and Sean. I'm just here on the sidewalk, just right outside the Collin County Courthouse. You can see the line of law enforcement behind me. They have not approached the crowd at all. They are staying right beyond the perimeter here, but obviously making their presence known. Now, I haven't personally seen any clashes between groups of supporters here. We've mainly seen people kind of gather in collective groups and then kind of share their thoughts or any chants with each other. We know that this case has just taken on a life of its own, for a lack of a better phrase, on social media. So there are a lot of people that are live streaming right now on the various social media platforms. We also hear people on a loudspeaker. There's a speaker that was playing gospel music. As you heard Alex share earlier, there were some prayer circles and gospel words and songs that were shared before the verdict was reached. I did get a chance to speak to one man who told me that he does not know either party. He was not in the courtroom for any of the testimony. He came out today to just see what justice would look like here and what the jury would decide. And he told me there is no winning on either side. He said, obviously, the Metcalf family have lost their son. Nothing can bring Austin Metcalf back. And then on the other side, Karmelo Anthony will now be taken away from his family, and the jury is deciding right now what that sentence will look like. And so I will say, when the verdict was first announced and the word and the decision was kind of spreading through the crowd, there was a lot of unhappiness, especially in the crowd and group of people where I was. We know that Karmelo Anthony supporters have worn purple, and there was a lot of purple out here. And a lot of people, they did not hide their unhappiness with that verdict, but they have remained here. And again, kind of gathering with each other, sharing some of their thoughts with the media. We also see some supporters. Someone behind the camera right here has a Justice for Austin sign. And I know my photographer, Andy, was able to speak with him. And so we are getting reaction from both sides out here. But so far, things have remained pretty calm. Again, there's been no physical confrontations, no clashes, at least that I've seen from my perspective, but you do see the law enforcement presence. And also, before that verdict was read, I could see law enforcement right up against the doors of the Collin County Courthouse, seemingly just in case anyone was going to run up those courthouse steps and potentially try to rush in. So they were really prepared here for this, but no law enforcement has come in contact with the crowd. They are really keeping their distance, keeping their eyes peeled. But so far things have remained peaceful, but the crowds have not died down at all. With that, I'll send it back to you guys. That's what I'm seeing out here live.
Thank you. And again, excellent work covering this trial where our politicians are now weighing in. And, typically you don't see politicians weighing in on local murder trials. You don't bring politics into this mix, but that's what we're seeing happen. State Representative Jared Patterson posting a statement on the murder conviction of Austin Metcalf's killer. There it is, as you can see it. It reads in part that the murder of Austin Metcalf was a senseless and heartbreaking tragedy that forever changed the lives of his family, friends, and community. All of that is true. Nothing can restore the life that was taken or ease the unimaginable pain of losing a child. Today's outcome of a murder conviction is justice served. And then Jeff Leach also posting on social media, on X, Karmelo Anthony guilty of murdering Austin Metcalf, the right decision, justice delivered. And so it is, I believe you said earlier, or may have been Alex, who talked about this being historic. It is a sad and historic case that will always be talked about, reviewed, and looked at here in North Texas.
Absolutely. And, since we've been covering this trial, obviously no cameras were allowed in the courtroom. And so we've been relying heavily on our crew. Our Lori Brown is inside of the courtroom. And so she explained, she was describing what was going on as Karmelo Anthony's mother took the stand. And she just added, just kind of painting the picture of what's going on inside. And she said the mother's statements were tearful. That she was emotional. She was telling the jury to really, have mercy for her son. And so that also paints the picture of just how distraught she is. And so I think you had mentioned this on both sides, right? So there's one side that is very emotional and another side that feels this was the right call, that this murder charge, this murder conviction rather, was what Karmelo Anthony deserved.
And I have to tell you, Lori Brown and Alex Boyer took us into that courtroom every single day. They were the eyes and ears of viewers here in North Texas, capturing the moments that mattered the most during the hours of testimony in that courtroom. Judges have their own discretion about whether to have cameras in the courts or not at the state level, and Collin County has limited media access, not just this trial. There have been others that have been high profile. They've sometimes allowed cameras, sometimes not. Not with the same. Every judge has their own discretion. Many feel like cameras should have been in the courtroom because of the gravity of this case, both sides so divided. At any rate, Alex and Lori did a wonderful job capturing the testimony and bringing that to us.
Absolutely. So we're going to wrap up here on air, but we're going to continue our coverage over on Fox Local. So if you want to stream along with us, be sure to download the Fox Local app, and we're going to continue to monitor what's going on outside of the courtroom, the courthouse, and also what's going on inside of the courtroom.
Yo, a couple things though. Why they think they doing something. So y'all know they done messed up. Y'all know y'all done messed up, right? Oh, y'all done messed up. Y'all done got black people galvanized. I love it though. I love it. You know how we stand up to adversity. You think y'all ain't done this to us before? Yeah, he should have got off. He should have got off. And this just shows how terrible and evil of people you guys are. I'm not surprised at all. Not by it. But I'm going to play this right quick because this is something that they haven't considered. Shout out to everybody that just tapped in. Make sure y'all hit that like button and share this broadcast because it's definitely going down. But I wanted to get this. What y'all haven't heard was from the lawyer's point of view on the content of the jury, which is crazy work. We already know that's crazy work. We already know how they get down. Let me see. Is this the video right here? No, this ain't it right here. Hold on real quick. Uh-oh. Oh, yeah. Look. Oh, the Coons is out in full force, too, right now. Your feelings and emotions in this court case don't matter. Only your facts do. Wow. Convicted of murder, man. It's everywhere now. And they love it. Look, conservative and proud. Why am I getting... I'm not subscribed to any of these people. I'm not subscribed to them. I'm not subscribed to... World Star Hip Hop. I'm not subscribed to the Daily Center. Look how they targeted in us and trying to play on our emotions with this, people. Be mindful. Be mindful. I ain't shocked. What up, Nightfall? No, I'm not shocked at one bit. We seen the get down from the beginning. We seen the white dude turn on him, talk about he wasn't really his friends, all at his grandma house and all that. We seen it from the beginning. We seen how this was going. We seen where it was going. It's called feed. No, I don't subscribe to any of those people. So that crap shouldn't, none of this crap should be coming up. North Carolina beat. Come on now. Come on now. How I'm looking at these people who thought Karmelo Anthony was going to get a fair trial. Right. Murder makes no sense at all, but in reality, he should walk because the case meets the standards. We all know it meets the standards for self-defense. We know that. We know, everybody know that. Everybody knows. Just seeing the reaction from everybody right now. Ain't nobody even really popped up quick. Uh-oh, Dewan B is live. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. Let's go on back to the live, y'all. I don't hear anything. Oh, okay. I think they cut it. I think they shut it off. Hold on. Yeah, they got grounds for appeal. Yeah, where the NAACP at? Where's the Democrat Party at? Where's all of these? Where's the Congressional Black Caucus? Boy, they've been quiet as rat pissing on carpet, huh? Is that what it is? Yeah, Nightfall. I actually had that video here I was going to show because I had downloaded a good one with a lawyer speaking on just that same issue. Hold on, let me see. Is this it? Yeah. Look, check this out right here.
Case, can it really define controversy about that, as well as there being no black jury members on this trial? So can you explain to me the controversy behind that and how important jury selection is to a case? Can it really define its outcome here?
Yeah, jury selection is everything. If you can get the right jurors for your, who are hopefully going to see the case your way as a prosecutor, you're golden. But don't forget, you need 12 people on that jury who are going to find that you met your burden of proof. As the defense, I only need one person to say, hold on a second, this was a self-defense case, and, my client potentially gets an acquittal. So there's the dichotomy in the jury selection. Now, the jury is supposed to reflect the community. It's supposed to be a jury of the defendant's peers. And I think from the defense perspective, they potentially have a get out of jail free card here. And as a prosecutor, as a former prosecutor, I cannot believe the prosecution actually made this mistake to exclude all of the African-American jurors, knowing you had an African-American defendant, knowing that you had a bunch of people outside the courthouse who feel that they're not, that their community, the African-American community, is not going to get a fair trial, I think is a big mistake. You got to remember, as a prosecutor, you're not there just to convict. Your job is to make sure that the defendant gets a fair trial. And I honestly think if there's a conviction here, I think the appellate court is going to take a very hard look at this and potentially reverse this. This is a serious mistake by the prosecution. And jury selection is one of the ways that an appellate court will reverse a conviction. So we'll have to see how this plays out. But if I was a prosecutor, I would never have done this. It's a mistake. And I think this is going to come back and haunt them.
And that you actually took the next question right from me. If we could see an appeal from this because he doesn't feel that he is represented by his peers.
Yeah, I mean, how can he? I mean, he's an African-American young man in an African-American community, and he has no African-American jurors.
And that's the point. It's just straight like that. There's no precedent for expecting racial representation in the ideas of peers. That is, dude, is definitely not a law. What's ethnic state about that, though?
the punishment. Attorney Russell Wilson is back with us. Russell, thank you for your insights today and walking through us the legal machinations here. Question, are you surprised there was only one witness in the punishment phase, that being the mother?
Yes, that is a bit of a surprise. That usually could only happen with some type of agreement among the parties, whether formal or informal.
Okay.
Hey, it's going down in the
When a
street.
man walked up, what did you do? You crossed your arms, but you aren't gonna approach a woman like that. You're not gonna approach a woman like that. Hold up! Hold up!
Oh, it's going down in the street, y'all. I just clicked to that real quick while the cousins talking on low and slow. They back. Oh, look at this chat, y'all.
Having presented a very strong case for a very harsh punishment. And it would also mean that the defense has believes they've presented their best mitigating or reasons to seek lower punishment, that they believe they've presented that as well. So I think you mentioned earlier, but yeah, I think if that is the case, that the only witness we hear from is his mom, Karmelo Anthony's mom, then I think that it's a fair chance we would have a final verdict
soon.
Yes, yeah, very soon. I'm mindful, as I mentioned earlier, of the sequestration issue, and I think you guys were mentioning that whether or not the case was tried at a fast pace or not. But I do think when you tell people they're going to be sequestered, it's just more likely that they're going to make a decision faster.
Mm-hmm.
And it may have been, to prevent exposure to social media or other things outside of the control of the courthouse. But I think that same principle will hold true in a punishment phase as well.
Sure.
And so if the judge was saying he's going until 6 every day and we're at 3:15, and jury if they're on a break, then the only other thing to do would be to prepare the punishment charge. I talked about that a little bit earlier. And again, that's a much shorter charge than the actual jury charge, and the jurors are given a space where they have to fill in a line.
Oh, y'all, just in. We got people from the community speaking up. Just in.
It showed very clearly that a black boy was allowed, not one black soul on a jury. An all white jury convicted him in 2 to 3 hours. We know that they did not prove their case. They are currently sentencing Karmelo Anthony, but we know that the Next Generation Action Network put the first $10,000 towards an appellate attorney. And we will fight Collin County like hell. I respected this process. I allowed and called for peace in this process. But Black America should be very upset about what went on today. Now, before all of the internet lawyers and before all of the interpretation of the situation, I'm only an advocacy leader. I'm not an attorney. I can only help families be able to navigate these processes when they find themselves in this type of situation. I can only allow lawyers to be what they are, lawyers. I can't instruct them. I can't stop them from doing anything. I have to respect the process just like anybody else. But what we saw today was flawed, unjust, and I ask that the community continue to pray for the Anthony family. I do not speak for them, but I know that the Next Generation Action Network will be here as support. My heart hurts right now because an ignorance of the law was done here today. Clear. We posted the jury instructions. And right now, what we are seeing is a travesty. It lets us that black lives do not matter in the criminal justice system. It lets us know that we are not going to be afforded the same laws as anybody else. And I give a damn about nobody that feels like I'm playing the race card here. For 400 years, our people have been at the liberty and have had to suffer at the liberty of these laws. I'm speaking facts because that blood of slavery is in my blood, not your blood. And it's not for you to look at me and say, I'm playing the race card. I'm just a black man living in America. The fact supports that. You say I'm upset? Hell yeah, I'm upset. I respected this process. But we're going to fight like hell to make sure that Collin County know that Karmelo Anthony is not going to go away. I want to thank all of the people who traveled across this country, to all of the media's community supporters and people who have taken Karmelo Anthony as their own baby. I salute you, I thank you, and we got work to do. Thank you and God bless.
All right, Connell, so you heard that. He's representing, at least speaking for the Anthony.
When they go to the sentencing part of this, which Brooke has laid out for us really well, it will be the same jury in this Texas jury in McKinney, Texas, who will decide the sentencing for Karmelo Anthony. He could get life in prison for this murder charge in the death of Austin Metcalf, whose death he has just been convicted of. So there is a whole nother part of this process. In terms, Paul Morrow, of how the judge has handled this case, which moved very quickly, your reaction?
Well, the sequestering of the jury, I think, was the right move from the get-go, right? They have to feel that they're going to be safe. They're not going to be intimidated by people coming to the courthouse
tomorrow, and that's when the so-called sentencing trial.
Hold on, let me get back to that live stream, y'all, because they over here still going on. I think they shut down the chat. Oh, no, it's still going. $40 years. Oh, my bad. I wasn't on the strike. My bad, bro.
Is not about race, but maybe about safety in the community. And then you're going to hear Mike Howard or Toby Shook come in, and then
My bad.
perhaps bring from any of us that can think back to when we were 17 years old, and list off a number of terrible decisions that were made, but later on turned out to be okay people, and try to view it from that perspective. And so I think those two things are going to get ready to clash, perhaps just in a closing argument.
Yes.
I mean, for real though, let's keep it clear, and let me teach y'all and learn something. What we experiencing right now is some old shit. Shout out to Tariq. He said we have to remember there was written laws, Virginia Slave Code of 1680, South Carolina Negro Act of 1740, Massachusetts Law of 1708, Louisiana Territory Code Noir of 1806, etc., that explicitly states that black people could not defend themselves against white aggressors under any circumstances. The spirit of those laws exists today. This is real. Reason why white supremacists are saying self-defense laws don't apply to Karmelo Anthony. So y'all can keep talking. Intelligent people know what the real deal is. Just to kind of put that out there. I don't know if y'all knew that, but that's why most of us are not surprised. And we seen the trick bag when it first started. So
that may be more contentious than the guilt innocence phase, if you will.
Right. And your appeal to jurors in this moment, as a lawyer, as a defense attorney or prosecutor, your appeal is often more intense than it is in the guilt or innocence phase, because you are on one hand praying and begging, pleading with jurors to give this person a lesser sentence, that they might have a chance at life. And yet on the other hand, you're saying, I don't care that he's a good kid and 18, he took a life, and now he must pay that price.
Right. Yeah. This part of lawyering is much more. You've got to tap into a humanistic side. This isn't about rules of evidence. This isn't about rules of procedure. This is really about being a member of community and understanding and trying to strike a chord that your potential jurors will identify with. So you may have talked with them, or your sitting jurors would identify with. So you should have talked with them in voir dire about punishment in general, based off of this case, the apparent status of it. If you were the defense, it might have been useful to talk about that a little bit more, since you were in essence going to be admitting to causing the death of a person. And so, maybe you're going back through your notes, you're looking at what types of things matter to them. You're thinking of which jurors have kids that are teenagers themselves. And so you're trying to find not a law thing that you can connect with them on, but a commonality ground. And so a mom obviously does that. Many moms worry about their children every day when they go out the door. You worry about them when you're teaching them to drive. You worry about them when you send them off to college. And so, that's the identification, the commonality, where in the same, many parents' biggest fear is to have the death of their child before their own death. And so when I say there's a collision, it's these concepts coexist in this, this huge range of punishment from 5 to 99 years.
Yeah.
And so the jurors are trying to balance and circle all of that together in a way that reaches what we will consider, as a fair result. And that's, I think, a tough thing to do.
And gut-wrenching for jurors.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. There's not going to be a law and a boxes that you check. And it really comes down to your own conscience on a given day. and some people can be what we would call more of the high end of punishment. You know, some people are eye for an eye. We've heard that before. Other folks could be, again, that a person that young, you know, that irreparable damage has been done, and no matter what the prison sentence is, a family will have lost a loved one no matter what.
Exactly.
So it's a much tougher deliberation than the guilt innocence, because there's, again, no clear wrong or right answers. You don't have those guide rails. You know, murder is intentionally, knowingly causing the death of a person. Was this a murder or committing an act clearly dangerous to human life? If those qualify, then jurors are really just checking those boxes. But what do you do about that now that you have that? There's not a guideline, and that's a unique thing about Texas criminal law. We're one of the few states that does have punishment by the jury.
Yes, absolutely.
I just wanted to ask, I mean, Sean had mentioned this earlier in terms of this is certainly a case, a trial that will be remembered here in Texas,
Exactly.
one that we will probably refer to for years to come, even considering that it got national attention. As you as we dissect and kind of look back on this trial, was there anything in particular that stood out to you in terms of how prosecutors handled it, in terms of how the defense went about it? Did anything catch your attention?
You know, not necessarily, and I don't say that, I guess, maybe in a bad way, but I think this case in particular received, you know, lots of attention, but a lot of the methodology that was actually employed to try the case was common to cases that just did not receive this much attention. And so there wasn't necessarily anything that was particularly surprising. A lot of the measures that were put in place to try to protect, if you will, the trial, I think were, you know, those were the things that were unique about it. But unfortunately, there's, you know, lots of homicides across the state, and there's murder trials almost every week. And so, you know, there wasn't something that just stood out, you know, like that. Maybe the court on Saturday, which is rare.
Well, we've had court on Saturday, even here in Dallas County. It's been infrequent. And Russell, we are joined now by Clarice Tinsley. Good to see you, Clarice.
You as well, Sean.
It's been infrequent that we've had Saturday court. Maybe the Amber Geiger trial we had Saturday court. I covered that. You are right. There are no facts, there were no circumstances here that are different from many of the murder trials that take place every day across Dallas County, Harris County, Travis County, Bexar County, Collin County. This was unique in not only what happened, where it happened, when it happened, and in the moments immediately after. Within an hour or 2 hours after it happened, the father of Austin Metcalf is on TV. Within an hour after that, the mother was on. They're sharing their pain. It's raw. The family's there. They're on national news the same night. That usually doesn't happen with a homicide victim so quickly. We get to the families, but not within hours after.
Right. The social media current was powerful. And I mean, that's what we're still witnessing today. And, you know, the racial undertones that came out as well. So when I'm saying not unique, I think just in the core facts, but the amount of division, the amount of views, the conversations it sparked, those are the things that are going to continue to make it a national discussion, and that's why it will be remembered.
Russell,
is for what it caused in that regard. Yes, ma'am.
And Russell, the fact that the last three members of the jury pool, the three women who were Black, who were teachers, no Black juror, no African-American juror on the panel, and the fact that those three women were removed or disqualified. What is your reaction to that? And is that something, do you think, might be used on appeal?
It's most certainly is going to go up on appeal. It continues to be a disputed issue. Without having heard the entirety of the voir dire, I think if the state's pro for a reason, they say, "Hey, we're striking them because they're teachers." I think many people will disbelieve that, and so I don't know, whether or not that'll ever be accurately answered. People are going to always have their opinion on it. As far as the law, I think the law does allow striking for race neutral reasons. So that issue, there's actually a case recently at the Supreme Court that was reversed on racial discrimination in jury selection.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to be an issue that goes up through the courts, and
it ain't over yet. It ain't over yet, y'all.
And
when y'all do blatant stuff like that, you leave it open for that type of stuff. Y'all did the same thing with Bill Cosby. Same thing. He'll be out.
I can't say for sure how that will turn out. I don't know, but I think
which is
if
why,
you were
though,
appealing the case,
there will
as
be
one
some
that you,
people behind this case who argues justice is not blind.
It's not.
For that very reason.
It's not.
And yes, there will be, and
first of all, y'all got to take into account this is Fox News, and they go get the old sleepy time head ass Doc from motherfucking Back to the Future, a head ass nigga talking. He ain't finna be saying what really needs to be said. So we can take that with a grain of salt. We got other people popping in that was actually at the joint. So I'm gonna go ahead to my sis right here because she been spitting that knowledge. Hold on. Give me some volumes. She ain't got no volumes. Damn, sis, your video ain't got no volumes, babe. No, your video ain't got no volumes, boo. Y'all want to hear from the little stuff all around? Let's hear the little BS they got to say.
A little more, spontaneous. I like to do stuff all around and just get out of line sometimes. And, Austin's always was there to check on me and keep me straight so I wouldn't get in trouble and do anything.
Man, I don't want to hear that bullshit. I'm just going to tell you that now. I don't want to hear shit from Cuz. Not at all. Not at all. Murder should get the death penalty. Boy, y'all never hesitate to hesitate to show how skullduggerous y'all is. Yeah, because he was you know why he was speaking like that, because he on a bender, coming off a 4 or 5 day bender. You know how that go. You already know how that go. Man, let me. I'll let him rock out. Hold on, let's see.
And it's understandable that there will be. There's certainly, studies regarding disparities between black and white defendants and black and white jurors, things along those lines. And so those arguments will be made. And that's kind of one of the ongoing discussions in our country, or certainly in our city and county, is when race matters and when it doesn't. So the flip side, they will say that any person, regardless of their color, in these circumstances, if you were to say both people were the same color or a different color, the law would say, can you defend yourself in this manner or not? And so there's that issue to try to balance with. And, the other issue, is certainly probably the argument, or there's the argument that, well, if a person of color, if there was a black juror on there, does that, suggest that they would have seen it less criminal or not? And so, the discussion, our verdict still would have had to come from 12 people.
Sure.
Would have had to have been a unanimous verdict. We generally think of teachers as being mediators among disputes in schools and being able to see both sides of it. So it may have been, that for whatever reason, the state may have decided that wasn't the best type of juror for this type of case.
I guess that's what.
That sound like some BS. Boy, what are you talking about? Anyway, people was reacting.
Karmelo Anthony would be
The videos is out, so we finna go to
Karmelo Anthony would be
we're gonna go to the community and see what everybody talking about.
found guilty of manslaughter. I have actually thought that from day one of this case, and if you actually watched my first video, you can kind of tell my tone that I'm not saying he'll be found not guilty. I'm saying he's going to be found guilty in some kind of way, because that is how my state operates. I do not feel that based on my own personal beliefs about the situation. I believe that based on the fact that I have lived in Texas my whole life. My whole doggone life, okay? Now, if you watch that video, you do understand my tone of, is it worth it? And they will always tell you, no, you can't do this, you can't do that. I do have the right to protect myself, and that is not the right they feel like I have. That is the point blank period, bottom line of the situation. They do not feel like we have the right to defend ourselves, and if they did, it would not come down to, you should have just left. Why is it appropriate for anybody who is not an adult to tell me what to do? Especially when we is all in high school. We is all in high school. You are not over me, and that is the mindset of a person to even say, get out of here, you need to leave. They told him to leave, we told him to leave. That is the mindset of a controlling person. Some of you may have missed this memo, but the Metcalfs are not married. I have always felt like the dad was the racist one and not the mom. I did get confirmation from people who were actually in the courtroom that the kids that did testify seemed to respect her. They said nothing about the dad. I received personal racism attacks toward me directly when I started talking about this trial, which is why my disclaimer has been on there since like video 3 or 4, child. They came right away. So I'm not for it. I'm in control at all times. It is not an option. In this day and age of my life, I will be selfish to my last motherfucking breath. I have no room, not an ounce, and I mean not a motherfucking ounce, of space for anybody that comes at me with that energy. I operate off of energy, so it's blocked. Wrap it up. Find you somebody else to play with. If you have the mindset he should have just left, you should back away now and find the block button at all times. Y'all don't do that. It's about control. You can't have access to me. Get out of my space. Point blank in the period. But that's the mindset that people are raising their children to be in, that they would think it is not appropriate for us to discuss, that it should have never been. We told him to get out. He was told to get out. He was not told to get out by an adult. That is the problem we need to start with. He was not told to do anything by anybody who had the authority to speak on it, and instead of that being done and or discussed, it's rolled over. Cause and effect matters. What caused the effect? What caused the effect? What caused the effect? What caused the effect? The behavior of the conversation that should have never come from a teenager when it should have came from an adult on payroll. So I do believe that the state of Texas will find him guilty on manslaughter. I personally, as in Keisha over here on court with Keisha, because this is her ish, and people seem to forget that, I think it was self-defense. The reason that I believe this was self-defense, why I believe he had the right to defend himself, is I'm visual. Some of y'all know that, some of y'all don't. So I did try and do like my own little mock-up of things to kind of visually get you into my mind, which is always all over the place. But in my mind, there are 10 students from Memorial High School who are underneath this tent. 2 of them are twins at 6 feet, 200 pounds. He is 5'9" per the police report, 130 pounds. He is sitting down after having a conversation with Eddie, who he thought was a friend.
Right.
And for you people who are not listening over and over and over, well, just because you know somebody doesn't mean you're a friend. They had multiple pictures together. I even heard there was a track picture at another track event where they were sitting next to each other with their track uniforms on at separate events. This was not a one-off, we spoke to each other here and there. They had several pictures over time together. He thought that was a friend. He thought he was speaking to a friend under a friend's tent. And all of a sudden, all of these people are around him, and they all admit that multiple different people told him to get out. So I'm talking to my friend and all of y'all are telling me to get out. What is this? That is a hostile environment. That is mob mentality. Y'all just all sitting around and not saying nothing? How you hear the conversation? How some of y'all saying y'all said something, some of y'all saying nobody said nothing. None of their stories lined up. So what does that mean? We have to take what all lined up and combine that and throw away everything that did not sound the same. The only thing that they said consistently, Karmelo was sitting down, Austin pushed him. Some people said Austin and Hunter were together. Some people said they were not. Some people said other people said get out. Some people said they did not. None of that lines up. There is a big chunk of the conversation missing, because how did we get to don't touch me? How I know you're going to touch me? I'm just randomly talking about don't touch me? There's conversation missing. A very important part of the conversation is missing. When I originally started talking about this case, those kids were in my video. They all let it be known that they had cell phone recordings, and not a single cell phone recording was mentioned in court. It was erased. Who erased them? I don't know. I do believe Eddie erased his own video, but I do believe that those other videos that those other students had may have been erased when they were doing interviews and said, go ahead and get rid of that. Go ahead, wrap that up. I don't know. I don't know.
Hey, you know what's going to happen? I'm going to tell y'all what's going to happen. I'm going to make the prediction right here. The video going to come out. The video is going to come out. The video going to come out, and it's going to be some bullshit.
That is speculation. I have no proof of that. I do know those comments are still in there of those kids telling me there was cell phone video recordings. I do believe them. I believed them then, and when they were not presented in court, I knew they were erased somehow. Who did the erasing? I don't know. But I do believe them when they told me on day one, April 2nd, 2025, oh yeah, it's a lot of people have recorded it. A lot of people have recorded it, and it's not none in the courtroom.
Right.
I'm believing them kids from 2025, okay? Because I'm believe what they told me the first time before they had any type of understanding how the court system works. I believe them. I believe that little boy that said they were in a U shape. I believe there was some form of that. I believe they were all looking at him, and this person is standing over him that is much taller than him, that when he is a row down, he was still taller than him. So when he reached out to touch him after Karmelo said, I do believe he said it 5 times, whoever that student was, don't touch me, see what happened. 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 I am positive that was him praying, Lord, get me out of this. 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 He probably put that doggone knife in his hand by the 3rd or 4th time he said it. And by the 5th time, he knew he had to use that weapon.
Right.
That is why Austin was stabbed where he was stabbed. Those details matter. He is sitting down. We have that solid from everybody. He was sitting down. Austin is standing up. That was solid from everybody. He is leaning back when he is pushed. He is pulling out that bag, and he just says, I got to get out of here. And he ran. Those are those moments in my eyes. I do not Hear me very clearly. I do not
Love, peace, and blessings,
care
bro.
what your thoughts are on that. That is my thought. It's not open for discussion. So therefore, how you feel about it is not relevant to me. I think it is also very important to note that he ran to a coach after the fact and not anywhere else. Honestly, he didn't run anywhere else. He ran to a visible place to get help after the fact. He asked about his care. He showed emotions for sorrow for the experience that he just had to have himself and that he had to give to somebody else because he didn't know what the heck they had going on. He did not know what that situation was with all of these people staring him down, all of a sudden on some different energy than what he was experiencing with somebody who he thought he kind of somewhat knew, to this all up in my face talking about, you better get up out of here. I do believe Austin definitely said, I'll beat your ass. There had to have been some confirmation that he was going to touch him, and that full conversation portion is missing, and it should not have been. Now,
I agree.
Now, as far as the way the system works, the judge did a lot, and I mean a lot, of warning beforehand, and that is why we don't have any records of them, the defense saying objection.
Yeah,
They already knew they were up against the losing battle.
Hell yeah.
Things like, do you think Karmelo was at fault? Should have never been said by a witness. That is not allowed in a traditional courtroom. It is not in any way, shape, or form. When they get on the stand, they are supposed to be telling what they saw, not what they think, how they feel about something like that. They're not supposed to go down them lines. Because the jury is the finder of the facts. And the finder of the facts in this case specifically is responsible for determining fault. So they would not be allowed to say, I think Karmelo was at fault. I think Karmelo provoked this. I think Karmelo was being aggressive. They would not be allowed to do that. And they did not object to that because they already knew they could not based on the way this judge was doing things. So a lot of y'all are like, this was a bad attorney. Number one, he had 2 attorneys. I don't know how you missed that. But his first attorney was Mike Howard, who was assigned last year after he got rid of like the first 1 or 2 attorneys he had. And then Toby Shook came on. I'm not sure when he came on because I didn't know about him until like the last minute. But he had 2 attorneys, both attorneys working together. But both of those attorneys are very good defense attorneys. I do not say that lightly because, baby, I do not play about these attorneys. Baby, I love me a good attorney, okay? They are both good attorneys. If they are put up with their back against the wall and somebody else got a knife to them, they gonna stand there and get up out their situation, okay? Please note that. So they had to play defense, and in order to play defense, sometimes you just got to get through it so that you can go back to get to them. He did a lot of stuff that the judge did, a lot of stuff that will probably have to be looked at. Let's say that. Okay, let's say that, because them on the stand talking about he provoked them, that let me know right there. That let me know
right
some stuff went on that we don't know about. Okay, we already knew that, but that confirmed it because that was inappropriate across the entire United States to be saying on the stand in a case, especially one like this, where somebody's saying somebody defending me. Well, did they provoke it? That's not up for the witnesses. That is the decision for the jury to make. And then the prosecutor in a hole, child, what the hell? That statement today, he should have got underneath the bleachers. That's somebody get at the back of the bus. It came across very, very racist. What do you mean he could have got underneath the bleachers, sir? I digress. I won't sweat on him too long because very clear. Not here for it. Yes, he has a job to do, but you can tell when somebody's job is crossing the line, and that was very offensive today. It crossed the line. It crossed the line. Now, for anybody that is here, that number one should not be here because I already told your ass to leave. I'm sorry that Austin is gone, but if your child's behavior leads to somebody else's child feeling unsafe, that has to be addressed. I'm not the type to skip over anything to get to the result of what happened. Why was your child talking to anybody else's child in that manner? Why was your child putting his hands on someone else's child? If you cannot thoroughly speak through that to make it make sense, you cannot talk to me about why your child is no longer here. I'm not for it. And that is the problem I have. If we can't talk about basic stuff of how we started, we cannot talk about what you feel like is the ending. Okay? That's problematic. Mindset, yeah, like he said, mindset. Mindset to tell somebody else you're going to put their hands on them or apply that you're going to put your hands on them. Mindset comes from environment. Actually putting your hands on someone. Mindset comes from environment.
Exactly.
If you cannot thoroughly talk through that, I am never the space for you. I am never the space for you because I'm going to meet you right there where he was. And again, my aim is great. Texas my entire life. My aim is great. I'm not using a knife, okay? My aim is great. Because it should be no doubt, and I mean zero doubt, that as a black woman in Texas, I don't have a relative that had to have their own self-defense case. It should be my automatic assumption, and the motherfucker was found not guilty. I'm gonna meet you where you at. You ain't gotta come to me. I will always meet you where you are. If you cannot have that conversation about his mindset, we cannot talk about what you believe to be an ending in this situation, which is him no longer being here at the hands of Karmelo Anthony. Because if his mindset was to be, at the minimum, he talked to Eddie. Y'all saw him talk to Eddie. Why you didn't tell Eddie to tell him to leave? Eddie, can you tell your boy to get up out of our tent? It's this our locker room. Why was that not this mindset? Leadership. Eddie, is that your friend? Why he in our tent? Eddie, tell your friend he can't be in our tent. This private. Yeah, you gotta tell him to let him, you gotta tell him go. What's your name? Yeah, that mindset. Where was that at?
Right.
Unavailable? Got it. It should have been in the room. It was not in the room. Okay? So, again, Keisha does believe that the state of Texas will find him guilty on manslaughter. I do believe it is self-defense. I do believe that that will not be discussed because of the way other people's mindset is in the state of Texas. If they surprise me and come back and say, we thought about it, talked about it, we considered everything, and it's not guilty, child, I will hit the floor. But from experience, I do see them coming back with that verdict, however that makes you feel. Make sure you completely understand.
See, I told y'all we knew. Most of us knew. I mean, we had wishful thinking that it was going to turn out in a different way, but ultimately we knew. Yeah, we knew. We knew. I think this one was done an hour ago.
Karmelo
Let's see what the sister got to say.
Anthony case just came to a close and the verdict is guilty. Karmelo Anthony now faces anywhere between 5 to 99 years in prison for this. There is a crowd of people outside of the courtroom and the family is absolutely furious. There's word coming out from the courtroom that Karmelo visibly broke down and the family stormed out of the courtroom, and you can hear the screams and the crying, and it's just so fucking sad. My prayers are going out to this family, and my prayers go out to the black community as a whole. Please, please, do not let these people invoke you, because we all know very well that's what they want. They want us upset, they want us angry, and they want us in the streets. Karmelo,
I think she's right about that. I want to show y'all this, man. This is funny, man.
Oh,
look at his face and look how bad he wants injustice to happen. And once he gets a taste of that injustice happening, boy, that lights up his whole life. Check this out.
it says here, Lori is telling us, we, the jury, find the defendant guilty of murder. That is the verdict from the jurors, according to Lori Brown, who was in the courtroom.
Rip
We're hearing that
Bozo.
first guilty
That's
of
right.
murder. We are finding that out.
That's right. That's
And I
right.
think,
oh boy.
The brevity of this deliberation.
Damn.
surprise to
You
many
are
people.
done.
Well, right. So, I mean,
For
what
his
we know
whole
is,
life.
That
Now we got to talk
they
about
rejected the
capital
self-defense
punishment.
claim. They
Look, not only does he like, not only he wants to kill on top of the misuse of justice. He want to kill too. Look how bloodthirsty he is. This is them people, man. This is them people, man. Get a good look.
Believe.
Look at his face. He's so worried that he's not going to get to experience the injustice that he so much craves. I just want to see those black people squashed. He's going to jail for life. Yeah. Notice black people don't get happy over injustice. Like we be indifferent. We ain't never finna get gleeful and happy over injustice, even if it's something of another community or some other people. You know what I'm saying? If something happened to them, we still empathetic. Like, damn, that that's fucked up, because we know how it is to be trampled on and be disrespected and be railroaded. We know all of these things. So even when we see stuff from other people, you're not finna get a reaction like that. The only time you get a reaction like that is we happy that it actually went fairly. That's all you get. Some of us didn't think that way, though. Sis said she didn't think it was going to go that way.
I'm guilty of murder. I was definitely thinking manslaughter because of the intent part. But then the intent comes in when you bring a knife to the track meet, right?
And you walk over to the person with the knife.
Yeah, and you walk.
That split second thought.
Damn, it's messed up because someone lost their life.
My bad. I didn't mean to do that, y'all. My bad. Let me get back to the sister.
Responsible. I just didn't think it was murder. I thought it would be manslaughter. Crazy. And then sentencing will be done by the jury, I think. I think so, yeah. The jury will decide. Yeah.
Yeah, if the jury decide, we already know. We already know two people on that jury is going to do. See, look, you can see you can look at the expression on said sister face, man. Like she did. You can see that she actually had faith that there was some humanity in said people. But as we obviously see, that did not happen.
Wow. In a quick deliberation, too. Under 3 hours, 3 hours is wild.
Right.
I was not expecting guilty of murder. I was definitely thinking.
I wanted to let her get that off. My boy had something interesting to say about.
Verdict just got reached in the Karmelo Anthony trial. It say that it's gonna be announced sometime after 2:05 p.m. Central Time. I ain't gonna lie, bro. We gotta hope for the best for him. I'm gonna be honest, bro. I do not know how this shit about to go. I feel like it's 50-50. One thing I did see is that they said they can give him manslaughter. I either hope he get found not guilty or that. At the end of the day, bro, I do not think he went there looking for trouble. I feel like he just got tired of people bullying him. He even warned Austin Metcalf before he even did it. He said, do not touch me. I don't understand why he couldn't just listen to that. Why are we putting our hands on people for no reason? I don't care what somebody say out their mouth. It was no excuse for touching
the jury has reached the verdict. Hold on, y'all.
From out of town. Some are high schoolers, all of them, though, proof of the far-reaching interest in this case and the emotional impact that this case has had. In April of 2025, Karmelo Anthony, who was then a student at Frisco Centennial High School, was arrested and charged for the stabbing death of Austin Metcalf at a high school track meet at Kirkendall Stadium there in Frisco. Metcalf was a student at Frisco Memorial. Anthony was charged with murder by the Collin County District Attorney. Prosecutors had the burden of showing that he meant to to, that he knew he was causing the death of Austin Metcalf following that stabbing at the track meet after there was a confrontation under the Memorial High School tent where Anthony had been sitting. He was being asked to leave since that was a rival school's tent. He produced a knife out of his bag and stabbed Austin Metcalf in the chest. During a 7-day trial, the state said that he knew what he was doing, that he intended to murder Austin Metcalf. The defense, however, arguing that Anthony was just acting in self-defense, that he was protecting himself that day. Anthony was 17 years old at the time, which is considered an adult under Texas law. However, this case does not qualify to be charged as a capital murder because of the circumstances of the case. So the death penalty and life in prison without parole were not possibilities here. Now, we have the verdict in, that is guilty. We just learned that a little while ago from the jury in this case. Now we are in the sentencing phase. It moved on, as I said, immediately to that point of the case. Murder in this case carries a sentence of 5 to 99 years in prison, although if you've been with us on WFAA Plus, you know that there is the possibility here that the defense could get 2 to 20 years as an option in front of the jury as well. So we're going to get into all of this here in this hour. We have experts there at the courthouse. We, of course, have been in that courtroom all day, every day that this trial has been happening. We have been live blogging this as updates have been coming down. We have Jobin Puneker, who is still in the courtroom right now. He just sent as an update a little while ago saying that the jury is now back in the courtroom and that the judge was reading the punishment jury instructions. So he's basically letting them know, here's what you can consider, here's what you cannot consider, and then they're going to send the jury out and they will immediately begin deliberating punishment in this case. Senior crime and justice reporter Rebecca Lopez and investigative reporter Tanya Iser have been live with us all afternoon on WFAA Plus. We also have some expert analysis from a whole team of attorneys that we've had all week, and we continue that today. The coverage has been really solid and very informative, and I would just like to turn it over to you right now, and if you can just sort of give us the lay of the land as you see.
I'm gonna go to this stream right here because they talking about take my ad blocker off. I ain't doing it.
The amount of time that a person stays incarcerated. I don't know if at this point if that's going to be part of the sentencing. We'll find out here in a minute from the judge and the prosecutor and defense attorneys. But we fully expect this case to go to the jury here in just a few short matter of minutes or hours, and the jury will deliberate as long as they want to into the afternoon and evening. If they don't reach a decision on sentencing, they will be sequestered, and then they will come back tomorrow morning and then come back with a sentence again of either 5 to 99 years in prison. In the case of Karmelo Anthony, which has generated so much hostility, tension, conflict, not just here in North Texas, but all across the country, as we've seen.
JD, you made an observation and you presented a point that I think so many of us who have been following this case have also observed ourselves, and that is the lightning speed in which all of this has moved. I mean, from the beginning, right? They worked through the weekend, closing arguments. This went to the deliberations. Within 3 hours, we had a verdict. Then it was read, and here we are. It's not even 4 o'clock right now. What do you make of all of this? The speed of it all? I mean, is that just the style of this judge? Is that because, you've been watching, you've been sitting in there. Is it because evidence was overwhelming? I mean, why so fast? What makes this so different than other cases?
Because he's black. Because they want to convict the black boy for killing the white boy. That's why it's so fast. We're looking at a modern day lynching. This is that they got to have some of these every once in a while. Like, you can't fake like you supreme without doing some supreme shit every once in a while. It's got to be in your face. It got to be bold. Yeah, we doing all white jurors. Yeah, we letting the prosecution bring witnesses up to accuse the defense. Yeah, there's collusion within the background with all that. It's all that, and we just convicted them. And what you gonna do about it? Now, obviously, we got repeals and those type of things, which I'm sure they're gonna exercise. That's definitely gonna happen. But just know that if you let it, this is supposed to be one of them get you back in places. And all I'm saying is, look, let me show y'all something right now off another video that I was about to do real quick. But look, let me show y'all something real quick. People getting tired, right? You ain't finna just keep doing people like you want to do them. Now, for instance, I snatched this video. This sister was in the mall with her little nephew, and this little police dude feel like, like they always do, like he can just rough and tough up the little black boy and traumatize him and all that. He ain't even do nothing. And they love that didn't do nothing though too. But it's the truth, right? You ain't gonna stop us from saying it. But hold on, check this video out, fam. Check this video out. See, because the thing about it is, y'all ain't gonna keep doing that. Y'all ain't gonna keep doing it. People finna start clapping back. Hold on, where's that? Let me find this video for y'all real quick. Make sure y'all hit that like button, subscribe and all that. If you rocking with your guy. Damn, where's this video? I had a good video too. Oh, here we go. Check this out, y'all, real quick. People is no longer going for the injustice. Check this out.
Chase, where are you, Chase? He got his hands on me. We upstairs.
You're about to go to jail. You're going to go to a youth detention center if you don't stop.
He's not doing anything. He got his rights. He's not even doing anything.
Crew, I didn't know you was in Minneapolis. I didn't know that, fam. But we can still link up, fam. We can do lives. We can, hey, man. Matter of fact, me and TZ was thinking about, I don't want to tell you what we was thinking about, but it involves recruiting B1 people, and we all get on the panel and do our thing. So I'm definitely with that, man. We can all link, man. Y'all, you can get the link to the program right now and come chop it up if you wanted to, bros. For real, for real. Yeah, we knew he was not guilty and all that. Oh yeah, man. We still rock heavy, fam. I rock with all. I see you playing the game and all that. Don't think I don't got my eye on you. You be seeing me. I make sure I put a comment just so you know I'm looking. Right? Yeah, man. For sure. It's whatever with me. I'm down with that. But this right here though, let me cook this real quick. People tired, man. Y'all ain't finna keep doing what y'all want to do to our black babies. Now you see YT boy Roy right here looking like he got mascara on. Real dweeb type dude. But check him out.
I have a 227. Stop.
Chase, where are you, Chase? He got his hands on me. We upstairs.
You're about to go to jail. You're going to go to a youth detention center if you don't stop.
He's not doing anything. He got his rights. He's not even doing anything right now, sir. And I have his father on the phone, and you won't even speak to him.
Yep.
Look how the young king looking him in his eye, though. I like that. I like that. He ain't scared. He's staring cuz straight down. I like that. What you can do is let go of me. Yeah, what? Come on now.
Man, nah, bro. You're not gonna handle him like that. You're not gonna handle him like that, my nigga. You're not gonna handle him like that.
You put your hands on me again.
You put your hands on my motherfucking nephew. You put your hands on my motherfucking nephew.
Give him back. Hold on to him.
Bro, Corey, man, y'all, what the fuck you doing? Man, no, bro, get him off me, bro.
F3 is 10-3. F3 is 10-3. Listen, it's not finna keep going down how y'all think it is. It is not. That's her nephew, and I feel her. You know what I'm saying? Well, at what point do you keep cornering the rat or the mouse, the cat, the dog? How long do you corner a person, a human being? Let me just change that. How long do you corner somebody and think they're supposed to come out swinging? How long do you think that's going to happen? I feel him. I feel him, bro. I feel her. I don't know about you. I feel her. She was on the phone with his dad. I think so. I think they in the mall or they're somewhere. Just to give it a little context, they're in the mall or somewhere like that. And your boy Roy over there on the whoops. Come on, fam. Come on, G. You know what? I tried something today too. Just so y'all know, and I noticed something in how YouTube playing with us. Yeah, the last couple days I've been streaming on the up and down and the side to side, and there's been mega people in here. So I wanted to test which side was popping today, y'all. So I went with the up and down without the side to side, just to see which one they were stifling and stammering. You know what I'm saying? And what I noticed is when I go up and down, right, they stifle the Keep It P podcast because everybody in here on Raw or J Lava right now. So shout out. I appreciate everybody. Smash the likes and all of that. Share the J, right? But I noticed like when I flood the zone with 6 videos, we get all the notifications and then they start flooding it out to all different types of people. So this was a test today. Normally, the chat will be a little bit more popping, and I see why. As a black content creator, I got to learn how to play the game. Yeah, you gotta learn how to play the game. I keep telling y'all, they don't push these type of messages. If so, you got to bombard them and overload them, because it's like, okay, how don't no videos pop out of 6 videos, right? And so that's what I've been learning. It's harder to stream in the car and such on vertical. Vertical cannot play background even with premium. Oh, okay. There you go. All right. That's a little something I ain't know. So it's good to have both of them anyway. Okay. All right. Thanks for saying so, B1. I appreciate that knowledge. So I'll make sure that and look, why that costs a little extra on Restream too, y'all. They want to charge you a little extra to be able to stream up and down and side to side. It's always some bullshit, man. Somebody always got their head in something. But I'm going to commit to paying that little extra chip to make sure that this gets to the amount of people that it need to get to so that we can chop it up like we needed to chop to. I wasn't going to make this a 4-hour one today. I was trying to hold on for the verdict. I'm still willing to go for the verdict if we can get it. And look, everything has been going so fast, right? I was surprised. I was just finna come in and do a live. You dig what I'm saying? I was finna come in and do a live, and I had a bunch, had the family lined up and all the videos. But then they talking about they came with the verdict so quick, so I had to switch over to the verdict real quick. That hence the reason for the thumbnail, because I would have had the thumbnail as it is what it is. Now they talking about they finna say the extra story. Look, they over here. I was watching the news live. Let me see if I can get another feed for y'all real quick. Give me a second. Just a little minute. Let me tap in. See if they got another feed. But I'm noticing something. You gotta yeah. They doing the sentencing? Well, that's what I mean. You know what kills me? I've been seeing this. You know what's been killing me, y'all? I've been seeing this little clip go around of this chick, and just the way she say it, man. The glee in their little evil little racist hearts. Listen to this.
Jury unanimously has determined that Karmelo Anthony committed murder.
A murder
To Austin Metcalf in April of 2025. Now, in the state of Texas,
she just sounds like she's so. Let me say I'm happy without saying I'm happy about it. Stop it. I'm trying to get some. Bear with me just a second. I'm trying to get some updates here, peeps, to see if they got something going on with the actual verdict. I don't know if we too far away from that right now. Let me go back to this stream. I had another like this. Let me get up to the live point. Let me see where we at.
Texas region on the world and global stage. We get to interact with the world and show them what Texas hospitality.
Nah, look, okay. So they didn't want the commercial or something else. They ain't nobody really following the feed right now. So I don't know how close the verdict actually is. They got you wanting to sign in on this one just to see it. I'm going to do it just this time real quick. I'm going to do it real quick just to see what's up. Come on, man. I ain't buying nothing. That's what I'm not doing. All right, let me see. Murder trial. Oh, they want you to pay 25. Well, if you don't get your little stupid ass out of here. They trying to get 25 cents to look at the little video, boy. What's wrong with you? Yeah, I'm having to fix my car this weekend and take a road trip, maybe for sure. Come on down to Vegas, brother. I mean, we can always plug digitally. That's the great thing about nowadays, is everybody can plug digitally. We can get it done. And matter of fact, sis, we're gonna have to get you in on the panel too. So, sis, we're gonna have to get you in on the panel too. Yeah, we're definitely gonna have to do that. Yeah, I see how you be saying. I see how you rocking. Matter of fact, let me make sure I'm going to your channel real quick here. So what you doing with your channel, Solstice? Let me check you out. You got a channel? What you doing? Yeah, man. We knew what this was, man. We knew exactly what was going on. I don't think anybody was surprised. They'd be looking for us to get all extra. They be looking for us. He said, I mean, South Carolina to Texas, show up and show out. Man, put in that work, fam. You know, you got to do what you got to do. Oh, /J6W. Hold on, y'all. Give me a second, because I'm also looking for another feed. Hold on real quick. Okay, got you. I got you, Solstice. I'm on you right now. Just subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell for notifications. See what you got on your page, girl. Oh, okay. You ain't got nothing on there. We're gonna change that. You need to be doing some content, girl. Come on, let's get y'all go to subscribe to Solstice's channel. It look like this. So she can get on up in there. Go subscribe to her channel, y'all. Y'all make sure y'all go subscribe to the girl channel right now. Oh, come on. Well, yeah, come on. Come on, girl. Go subscribe to the channel, man. Make sure y'all get on my girl level, because she about to be putting out content. Y'all don't even know it. I foresee content in your future, girl. Yeah, we need. Listen, man. Also, I got a shout out to my girl Petite. Petite finna be come rocking with us too. But we need some feminine energy over here, man. Me and Teezy been saying that forever. And Tia, I don't know what happened to you, Tia. But you know we'd love to have your voice over here, Tia. wherever you are, Tia baby. We got some real stomp down B1 sisters over here. I'm showing love to everybody. People show love to me. Tori and shit did a collab with me like way back when we first started, when we wasn't even known. Shout out to Tori and Rain. Tariq gave us a shout out when nobody knew us. Tariq gave us a shout out when nobody knew us. And that really put a battery in the back. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, like it's a real community. He ain't asked for nothing. He looked out for the brothers, and I'm grateful for that. Because when there was a doubt about what kind of unity was going on in the community, man, listen, all the B1 people that showed me love. Everybody I reached out to, just about. You know what I'm saying? I tried to throw rocks at the side. We was very ambitious when we started. We tried to reach out and collaborate with everybody when we first started, and rightfully so, because I felt like I was that nigga already. But I now understand that we had to put a lot of work in and solidify ourselves on this B1 shit to be considered. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we do that. Yeah, we do that. We gonna chop it up. I'm trying to see if this verdict gonna pop, y'all. I'm here for it. I'm not in a rush. We gonna slow this. We gonna slow this one down. I'm not in a rush. I mean, not the verdict, but the sentencing. Let me see. Let me see if I find something, because I've been looking the whole time. Mellow sentencing, and I think they all kind of they went to like commercial and something else to kind of pass the time. But I ain't seen nothing. Let me see if I got live update. Okay. Dallas 4. They ain't back talking yet. But the comment sections, boy. Oh, they over there going down in the comment section still though. Just here, y'all can get a peek of that. They still over there. Court got to be over by now. It's almost 4:30. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What, they go till 5, right? And the way, the way this you show. I just talked about that case yesterday. You talking about the brother just broke that down and made a parallel about that case yesterday. He got 10 years, and the only reason he got 10 years because the judge stepped in, because they wasn't trying to give him nothing. They was trying to give him probation. I do know about that case. Covered that yesterday. I be teaching over here. I know I've been putting these videos together for quite some time, fam. I kind of got a way about it. I've been doing this for quite some time, Bucko. I'm looking for the live feed for y'all though. Hold on. I think I got this, but I ain't got no.
And all North Texas. Fox 4 News starts right now with breaking news.
Welcome back. I'm Eden Shekel. Thanks for joining us this afternoon on Fox 4 at 4. We continue with breaking news this afternoon. A jury finding Karmelo Anthony guilty of murder. We have crews inside of the courthouse and crowds outside of the courthouse. And here in the Fox 4 studios, we are getting live updates as this punishment phase moves along today. Now, here's Fox 4's Sean Raby joins us right now from our digital studio. Sean, sudden passion seems to be the focus right now for the jury.
Yeah, and so the defense is wanting the jurors to consider that in a moment of terror, in a moment of fear, that Karmelo Anthony reached into his bag, pulled out this pocket knife, and in a defense.
He looks like a buster. I really don't want to hear what he had to say, but you're right, crew. Of course, we covered that and made these parallels. We just started doing none of this. I don't think they really understand how deep we go in this. We ain't started doing this. Fair use, everything fair use. Fair uses of all the uses of everything fair, for sure. Good looking. You know how they do. At this point, I already know what to expect, so I wasn't even really tripping. Go.
Was a son. He was an athlete. This is what jurors are hearing from the prosecution in their closing statements here in the punishment phase, that there's no more life in his heart. He was there to running over those bleachers, but now rain has washed over his grave. That's a quote from the assistant prosecutor working with Bill Werski on this case. That's what jurors are hearing in this moment from both sides. So there's a lot of emotion and there's a lot of tension, even in
what's tripping
these closing.
You know what's tripping me out over here in these little comments? Why they got white fists and white man wake? I thought woke was like man, if they can't even never be original. They can't never be original. White man wake. Look at that. White man wake. Where's the other one? They got white fists up. That little comment section ain't nothing but a whole bunch of gobbledygook. A bunch of it. Hold on, let me get back to the joint.
A lot of emotion and certainly a lot of tension as the day has built and folks have learned the fate of Karmelo Anthony. Now at this point, they're waiting to see, as Sean mentioned, what that sentencing will be. Right now, calmness has prevailed and has been that way throughout the course of this day, aside from some people just reacting to the verdict and having some outbursts and some emotion to that verdict. You know, I can tell you that the crowd began to build, as I mentioned, really first thing this morning outside the Collin County Courthouse as attorneys for both sides were presenting those closing arguments. You know, they had 35 minutes on each side. Then the jury got that case before 11 a.m. And then during the jury deliberations while we were out here, many folks were live streaming on social media, giving updates, while others were simply sitting under the trees here out of the sun, and others talking to one another. And I can tell you that I also saw some folks chanting and praying. Now, when word got out that there was a verdict, the crowd all began to gather near the steps of the courthouse, which is where we are. About a dozen law enforcement officers came outside. Many remain here at this hour and formed a line separating the crowd from the steps of the courthouse. From my vantage point, most people seem to abide by the officers' orders. When the crowd learned that Karmelo Anthony had been found guilty of murder, I heard some audible gasps and moans, as I mentioned, but many people did stay quiet, I think really trying to digest what they heard. Then I heard a woman yell, "Let's stay together," and another woman got on the loudspeaker and started preaching. Right now you're looking at an overhead view from Sky 4, which really gives you some perspective for where we are here in the parking lot. Now a ground shot here. You can see what I've been talking about. Some of that crowd lingering here near the front steps, waiting for any kind of update from inside of the courtroom. We also may be able to see there beyond that crowd of people, some of those law enforcement officers, as I mentioned, just trying to keep somewhat of a barrier between the barrier that is physically there, the folks here in the parking lot, and then trying to keep things calm on the other side. That is the situation as it stands right now. I can tell you that while many people have left, some people maybe now just starting to get off of work or hearing what has happened are now starting to show up here in the parking lot, beginning to get full once again. Back to you.
It sounds like we've kind of seen a range of emotions even before the verdict was read. I remember earlier you said, you know, there was a prayer circle. At one point we did see things get tense, but it's good to know from people on both sides, but it's good to know that the crowd has remained relatively peaceful. Thanks so much, Alex. All right, well, Fox 4's Amelia Jones, also in McKinney for us right now. Amelia, what are you seeing?
Hi there, Eden. I'm seeing similar to what Alex is seeing here as well. We have a lot of people who are in lawn chairs taking shade away from the hot sun today. And I asked people, why are you staying here? The verdict already was issued and they told me that they wanted to stay here and find out the sentence. Somebody even told me that they wanted to stay here because they wanted to support they wanted to support the youth. And so I'm going to ask my photographer, Sam, to kind of pan off here. You can kind of see there's just some groups of people, again, like Alex was talking about, whether they are live streaming on their cell phones here. We know that this case has gained national, even international attention, and a lot of people have been streaming on several social media platforms before the verdict, after the verdict, and now as they are kind of getting news from journalists and others inside the courtroom as to what is going on right now in that punishment phase. I got a chance to speak to somebody after the guilty of murder verdict came down, and this person was telling me there really is no winning on either side of this. Take a listen.
There's no winners. No, absolutely not. I mean, I feel bad for the Karmelo Anthony family. I mean, they're in a sense losing their son for a little while too, you know. But the thing is they'll most likely be able to get him back. Austin Metcalf's folks, they won't ever get that young man back.
And now we know that this case has become racially charged, in large part due to misinformation and rumors spreading online. And I will say I have heard some racially charged comments out here after that verdict was read, and something that was brought up in jury selection and something that I spoke to several law experts about was the Batson challenge, the fact that 3 black female jurors were struck and the fact that there were no black jurors on this panel here. I will tell you I was inside the courtroom and the jury was diverse. There were several Asian Americans as well as Indian Americans on the jury, but as I spoke to a criminal defense attorney not involved in this case yesterday, she was here as a court observer. She told me that yes, a Batson challenge like that could be used in possible appeals. So Eden, of course, we will have to see what the jury decides when it comes to that punishment phase. And of course, we might have to see what litigation, if any, comes after the trial is over. For now, Eden, I'll send it back to you.
That's right. We should mention this was a 12-person jury with 6 alternates. That included 11 women and 7 men. Thanks so much, Amelia. Okay, so we were live on air and on Fox Local as the verdict came in. We got instant reaction from Russell Wilson, a former Dallas County prosecutor who is not involved in this case.
We know is that, they've rejected the self-defense claim. They believed that the use of deadly force in response to the shove was excessive. And that's not necessarily a surprise based off of the totality of the circumstances. So I think, that was their verdict.
Now we'll see what happens with this jury in the punishment phase.
Right. So we're probably going to see a brief break, and the parties will get a chance to gather themselves, if you will, and the judge would have to decide if he wanted to go ahead and begin the punishment phase of the case, maybe in 15, 20 minutes or so, or if he wanted a break. Given that he's got the jurors sequestered, I think that they will get back started on testimony probably relatively quickly.
Let me ask you a question. You have a client who is a teenager who's a 3.8 GPA, has no bad record, has no juvenile history, has no engagement with law enforcement, has made this decision that has left him guilty of murder. How do you work in the punishment phase? What do you try to do to live?
I mean, I think you gotta first you want to console your client and the family briefly, but you're gonna have to quickly turn to your anticipated punishment evidence, which is going to be the state again going first. You're gonna hear more character information. It takes a while when you get an adverse verdict for the person to really accept and understand it. The state may be moving to have his bond held insufficient, meaning that if he walked in the courthouse today, that he won't be walking out tonight. Your client's going to have a whole lot of anxiety. You know, the range of punishments, 5 to 99 years. When you hear a guilty verdict of murder, you're certainly going to see your life flash before you, because you recognize you could face imprisonment for the rest of your life. The attorney, if you get everybody calm down, you need to start thinking of your most mitigating factors. Probably here will be age of the offender and no criminal history.
So one very unusual aspect of this case has been where some of the reaction is coming from. Several state politicians have issued statements in their official capacity, including Jared Patterson, the Republican state rep whose district includes parts of Frisco. Patterson called Austin Metcalf's murder a senseless and heartbreaking tragedy and said today's murder conviction is justice served. Texas GOP Chair Abraham George echoed that sentiment and said the Texas Republican Party stands with the Metcalf family. And on the other side are Karmelo Anthony supporters who have condemned this verdict. The activist group Next Generation Action Network has spoken in support of the family on multiple occasions. The group's leadership said it will continue to provide the family support through a likely appeals process once the punishment is decided. So we want to go back to Fox 4's Sean Rabb with more updates from inside of the courthouse with the punishment phase. Sean, I know obviously we can't have any cameras inside of the courtroom there, and we've been getting updates from Lori Brown, who is inside of the courtroom. So what are some updates that you're hearing?
Yeah, and you know what? We talk about that a lot because we've become accustomed in state district courts, especially in Dallas County and the big trial recently with the Tanner Harner case over in Tarrant County. They have cameras in courtrooms, but they've not always been there. We've not always covered cases with cameras. It's been with reporters chronicling the events in the courtroom and then sharing those. And that's what we've been getting in this trial. Right now, I want to go back to share with you what's happening in the closing statements before jurors begin their deliberation. We were talking earlier about sudden passion, and Mike Howard, one of the defense attorneys, wanted to impress on the jurors that, look, you decided that self-defense wasn't part of this case, but I want to help you and let you understand sudden passion can. He says, when we react in a moment, when our mind has not had time to process and calm down and time for cool reflection, that is different from when we have time to think and still do something bad. His suggestion, Karmelo Anthony acted in a moment, sudden passion, and not that he thought, premeditated plan to go to that track meet and kill someone. But let me share with you what Bill Werski has said in his closing statements to this jury before they begin their deliberation. He's saying, here it is. This is not sudden passion. This was provoked, and the person who provoked and caused the death was not Metcalf, but was Anthony. That is what Bill Werski is saying. Beyond that, here is what he tells this jury. Whether you like it or not, mercy to the guilty is cruelty to the innocent. When you talk about Anthony, talk about Metcalf. When you consider his family, consider Metcalf. And then he goes on to say, you know what? A lot of life sentences have been handed out today. A lot of life sentences. There needs to be one more life sentence, as he references the time he wants this jury to give Karmelo Anthony. He says, it's up to you to determine how we in Collin County respond to senseless violence. Do we tolerate it or hand down lengthy sentences? So the pressure is mounting on this jury for a long sentence, 40 years or more. 40 years or more is where I think Bill Werski wants this jury to start considering. The floor is 40 years. The ceiling could be 99. That's where he wants them to consider. So we'll see what this jury does when they do retire. But these are the passionate pleas in punishment that Attorney Russell Wilson was talking with us about earlier. Oftentimes, he said, more difficult at this moment, more intense at this moment, and more challenging for jurors at this moment than to return the guilty verdict. So once they begin their deliberations, and that has not happened yet, they're beginning their deliberations right now, actually, 4:37, about 3 minutes ago, they retired to start deliberating. Before 6 o'clock today, they could have their decision in terms of how long Karmelo Anthony will stay behind bars.
And he is facing anywhere from 5 years to 99 years in prison. Thanks so much, Sean. And as this case continues in the punishment phase, Fox 4 is committed to keeping you up to date. We will be live on the Fox Local app when there is an update, so make sure that you turn on your notifications to receive the update right to your home screen. And if it happens while we're on air too, we'll bring it to you live. Well, street racing led to the deaths of 3 people in Duncanville. A 4th person was injured. Fox 4's Stephen Dowd joins us now live, where police just held a briefing. Stephen.
Eden investigators and the police chief talked about the scene, and a witness we talked to earlier described a chaotic and a graphic scene because the vehicle carrying those who are deceased was completely just crushed and crumbled. We just heard from the police chief about 30 minutes ago, giving us some more insight, saying that his first officer was on scene less than 30 seconds after that crash. They believe that this was due to street racing, and 2 suspects are in custody, a 20-year-old and a 21-year-old. I want you to take a look at some of the video that we have from the scene. The police chief saying that the family members tell Fox 4 that a 12-year-old boy, his 50-year-old mother, and 78-year-old grandmother were all killed. A father told me that his stepson is still in the hospital. Police call his injuries life-altering. He said to be in critical condition. We heard from a witness who described the scene earlier today.
So I worked down the street, so I was pumping gas, and that's when I heard the impact, and automatic, everything closed. I mean, and we were like, you see, bringing flowers and everything because we were trying to help, and there was nothing we can do.
I want to encourage every parent, grandparent, guardian, and family member to have an honest conversation with your family members, with your young drivers. Talk about the consequences of speeding, reckless driving. Just the moment of that poor decision, what impact that has on the families.
Now, the woman, the witness who we spoke to, she mentioned flowers. There were a couple of people bringing flowers by that scene today, earlier this morning. Now, both suspects are in custody. We don't know the names of the suspects as of right now. We know that one is 20, one is 21. The chief said that both stayed on scene. We should be getting their mugshots probably within an hour. Eden, they're both charged with 4 counts of racing on a highway, which is a second-degree felony.
And it's so unfortunate that lives were lost in all of this. Thanks so much, Stephen. But we have more breaking news, this time on the international front. The U.S. is launching new strikes on Iran. The U.S. military says it's in response to the downing of an American helicopter near the Strait of Hormuz. The 2-man crew on board the Apache helicopter were rescued by a Navy drone boat after it went down earlier today. No injuries were reported. President Trump has blamed Iran for the downing of this helicopter. We do not yet know the scope of this renewed round of strikes and how it might affect the fragile ceasefire in the war with Iran. Fox 4 News will be right back.
Preston McKinney hails from Little Elm, but credits a few years spent in Germany was spurring his interest in soccer instead of American football. After returning to the U.S., he joined the FC Dallas Youth Academy.
Everything finishes with a cross-court shot. Kickoff right here, Weston.
Coaches knew they had someone special in their midst.
I remember in the early days of sort of the soccer blogs here that there was this phenom 10-year-old and he was scoring a bunch of goals for a local club.
Non è finita. Pallone con now, the midfielder who plays for Italian powerhouse Juventus will try to bring something special.
Free tickets were handed out through a lottery system for Frisco residents and FC.
Oh, I was on mute. Thank you. My bad. So what had happened was my daughter's pregnant and she was stuck and I had to go get her. And it's hot outside in Vegas. So I had to go get my daughter real quick. And I streamed from Restream, y'all. I streamed from Restream. And Restream got this function where you can like kind of go on your phone and control the stream. So I thought I could get up and leave it going and then like control it from my phone, but I started it from the computer at the house. And so it didn't give me access and control to to control the phone, the stream from my phone. It just like kind of let me in as a guest. So y'all unfortunately had to watch those things, but it's all good. We back at it, Jack. I thought they was going to do at least the verdict before the end of the day today. They've been going so fast with everything else. I don't see why. He said, white supremacists are insane. Yeah, they cannot use logic. They debunk themselves. Yeah, I love it in the comment section. I get to use them as a teaching moment. Where would I be without them popping up in the comment section saying a whole bunch of bullshit? Love it. Let me see. I was looking for a stream for the family. Hold on, let me see. Just now they still talking about weather and shit. They all so what they mean. So what that mean is they know it's coming. Because look, they still got the stream up, but they ain't talking. They talking about weather and shit. So you know it's coming. I'll keep this one up because I like them comment section over there. They just going in the comment section over there. No justice, no peace. Karmelo will be free. It said they don't know how to read. Da 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 da. You gonna get it now, boy. Oh yeah, they over there going in. But yeah, like I said, man, I gotta I'm a girl dad, man. And I gotta go run and see about my babies when they need me. Hold on, let me see. I'm looking for a stream for y'all real quick. Or actually, I can go back in on the let me go back in on the Twitters because they coming in. I'm not the Twitters, but the TikTokers. TikTokers, boy, they over there on fire. Let me see. Let's see what we got here, y'all. Yeah, I gotta yeah, mine actually that's funny. Mine's gonna be 23 this year. I'm gonna have a 23, a 20 what? Hold on. Damn, they be growing so fast. Janae 21 now. So I'm gonna have a 22, a 20, and a 13. A 22, a 20, and a 13. And so, and we finna have a new. We got a new addition. I don't like to talk until the third trimester, but it is what it is. I'm about to be old Big Daddy J, Big Daddy J Lava. Come on over here and sit on your grandpa lap. Let me tell you a story about white supremacy. Early. Let me tell you a story. I'm gonna make that shit fun. I'm gonna make coloring books and shit. I'm gonna have Chat GPT make up some color, some all type of shit. This is probably she probably gonna be the new she gonna be the new Malcolm X. I named one of my children named Justice because we need it so bad. Real talk. I got one named Justice because it's just like that. For real, because we're gonna replace this system of white supremacy with a system of justice. And you know what? She's actually brilliantly smart too. She might really be the one on the low if she could just get off the K-pop. Sorry, baby, if you're watching this, but you already know how I feel about that K-pop. Man, come on with this old little BS verdict, y'all. Come on, we know what y'all on. Come on now.
Dallas.
Just do what you're gonna do. I just hope they don't try to fry the boy. Don't fry the man. God darn. Like history ain't oral and it's not passed down. Boy, shut up. I see you over there, Dark. Oh, you got a healthy helping of the Twitter fingers over there, huh? You bold now that they done set up a rigged jury and convicted the innocent black man. You're tough now. Oh yeah. Look at the stuff that y'all get emboldened about. Well, no, I don't expect y'all. I don't expect y'all to even get it or even see humanity because we know why. We know why. Matter of fact, I got another channel, y'all. And listen, y'all. I got another channel that I'm about to start going in on that type of stuff because obviously they're ruining this channel enough. There's actually been a resurgence on the J Lava channel. So I appreciate y'all, man. It's a resurgence. So I appreciate that. But I got another channel that I'm finna start. It's called Mind Blown AI. Let me show it to y'all real quick while we're waiting for this verdict to come through. It's called Mind Blown AI. I can go live on there and everything because it's like at 123 subscribers and whatnot. Matter of fact, we finna add Von Savage Media back on the train too, so look out. And Keep It P Shorts. That's another channel that I wanna venture out on because I want to bang out all of these channels. But Mind Blown AI, this is the channel, y'all, that I'm gonna talk about that type of stuff. Yeah, I said it. Rigged jury, collusion amongst the dominant society within the community, even the backstabbing of a so-called friend to get on code with the dead dude. Yeah, all that. Every bit of that, Jack. What you talking about? What you talking about? We ain't no surprise. Y'all had to fight dirty, show grainy video of the incidents that happened. we know the people on that. That's Texas, fam. We know they scumbags over there. Scumbags. Just like you over there getting your little penal hard over injustice. Did you go to, when the verdict was read, did you go to the bathroom and rub one off? You must have went to the bathroom and rubbed one off, fam, when it happened. Because you're overly stimulated right now, sir. The trial is over. Y'all, you just won't, you smell blood in the water. You want death, huh? You want the quintessential nigga knuckles in the jar, don't you? That's what he want. They're gonna be saving these videos. Look, they finna be making shorts and shit of the guilty verdict and shit. They're gonna be making shorts and playing it over. They're gonna look. They're gonna put the guilty verdict on the screensaver of their phone and shit. Come on, man. I know y'all, fam. You way overstimulated in these comment sections, boy. I done left, went and picked my daughter up and came back, and you still on bullshit. Boy, I tell you. I love it though. I love seeing, I love the demonstration of inhumanity. I love reconfirming what I already think about those we can't speak of. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Know about you, fam. I know about you. Y'all go to Mind Blown AI. That's where I'm gonna be talking about that. It's coming, fam. And it's going to involve like all the people in my comment sections. I'm going in on them today. I'm going hard on that channel until they expire it. I'm going hard body on that channel until they cut it off. Either I'm going to say what I gotta say, or they're going to cut it off. They're going to shut it down. Because I'm finna go hard body. Hard body on them. I'm going hard body. Hard body. Hard body. And y'all can get these nuts. Don't make me remind you. They ain't gonna be happy till they get a little of that. That's when you ain't gonna be happy until you get you a little bit of that. You ain't gonna be satisfied. Y'all don't think fat meat greasy. Y'all gonna see. Because it's gonna come to a head. It's gonna come to a head at some point. It's gonna come to a head. It's gonna come to a head. All right, man. Hold on. Let me see. They still over there. They ain't no verdict yet. No, hold on. Okay, here we go.
Waiting to see what was going to happen, and others were also chanting and praying. When word got out that there was a verdict, the crowd all began to gather here near the steps of the courthouse. So over a dozen law enforcement officers came outside and formed a line separating the crowd from the steps of the courthouse. And from my vantage point, I can tell you that most people seem to abide by the officers' orders. When the crowd learned that Karmelo Anthony had been found guilty of murder, I heard some audible gasps and moans, but many people stayed quiet. I think they were really just trying to take in and digest what they learned. Then I heard a woman yell, "Let's stay together," and another woman on a loudspeaker who began preaching and praying for folks. But as we come back out here live, we've been keeping an eye kind of on the scene around me. I can tell you that there are still easily several dozen people here, probably close to 100 people still here now waiting to see what the final fate of Karmelo Anthony will be. I can tell you within the the past hour or so. We've seen some people leave and then some new people starting to arrive. So clearly lots of folks are going to remain here at the Collin County Courthouse, as will we, until we finally know what's going to happen, if anything's going to happen by the end of today or possibly go into tomorrow. Back to you.
Absolutely. We know you'll be there. Alex, thank you for that. We want to transition now to Fox 4's Amelia Jones, who's been gathering reaction outside the courthouse as well. Amelia.
Hi there, Steve. I echo Alex.
It is 5 o'clock. So they did all of that, rushing the case and all of that. Now y'all finna milk the overtime, the clock. They finna milk the hours. Karmelo's death. Karmelo's fate is death by Aryan Brotherhood. You think that makes you sound cool? You thought you really did something with that one, huh? Was that the voice you had in your head when you wrote that? Somebody told me that YouTube comments was against them the other day. Not with you writing that type of shit. Karmelo's fate is death by Aryan Brotherhood. Boy, if you don't get your goofy ass out of here. Oh, okay. Smart individuals. The judge goes at 6 p.m., huh? Okay.
Alex, and what he was saying, that we have seen some people leave, but then we've seen more people come into the parking lot of the Collin County Courthouse and kind of gather and talk to people who are still here. I asked people, why are you still here outside of the courthouse? And they told me that they want to be here to hear the sentence. And some of Karmelo Anthony's supporters who have been here in the multiple days of testimony wearing purple, I spoke to one of them and they told me that they want to stay out here to support the youth, meaning Anthony in this case. So some people, as Alex mentioned, they are gathered in small groups under the trees to get some reprieve from the heat here, but we have seen them gather in much larger groups at times. Things have gotten quieter. There's no longer music playing. We have not heard anyone come over the loudspeaker to preach, and no chants have been heard either in the last hour or so. Now, after the verdict was issued, I spoke to one man who lives here in McKinney. He wasn't a part of the...
That was very passive aggressive. There's been no speech and no pastor praying. That was very passive aggressive. I'll be hearing that shit.
Public who was inside the courtroom for any of the testimony, but he has followed the case since it happened in April 2025. And he told me his reaction when he heard the verdict was that there are really no winners here.
I just tell people this, man, is until you've been in this situation, you don't know how anybody's feeling. You know what I'm saying? And it's not, this is a no-win situation on either side. You know, you have a child that is not going to be here anymore. God bless his family. And to the family who's going through this situation with their son, it's unfortunate.
To play it off before the verdict, and now as we are awaiting the jury to decide the sentence for Anthony, people have been on their cell phones live streaming. You heard my colleague Alex Boyer talk about that. The media here, this has gained national and international attention. So we've seen a lot of people with their cell phones in the air, some small cameras just live streaming what's going on here. You can see the Collin County Sheriff's Office presence behind me. The officers are here making their presence known, but they have not approached anybody in the crowds. Nobody from the crowds waiting out here of the courthouse has approached the officers, so things have remained calm. I haven't seen any tensions or tempers flare, but we do know, Steve, as you mentioned, that this case, as it's taken on a life of its own on social media, it has become racially charged in large part because of the rumors, online speculation, misinformation that has spread on social media. And so I do have to tell you, I have heard some racially charged comments out here in response to the verdict, and as the jury is preparing to hand down that sentence as well.
Of course you're going to hear some racially charged comments because we had a racially challenged trial. I mean, it's funny how even like the goofball in the little comments right there, like death face ass nigga. Show goofy ass. Fam. He don't got no friends. He don't. Thank you. Ain't no such thing as no damn black supremacists. That would make y'all not supreme. And y'all don't be looking supreme at all. We know that's really a lie. We know the lie detector determined that that was a lie. Oh yeah, he's protected. We ain't letting this go.
Not
again. Listen, let me tell y'all, this is good. As TBA would say right now, I know the broadcast is coming tonight. I will be there. This is good because this is showing them Negroes, the ones that say, I ain't living in no white supremacy. Ain't nobody supreme over me. Yeah, they are, buddy. Yep, they are. They can do it. As far as this legal system that they set up, oh yeah, they got supremacy in that for sure. And we just seen it. It is what it is. You gotta know. You gotta understand it's a problem so you can fix it.
Planned, not premeditated, not going to that track meet, not going to that stadium on that fateful day, planning to carry out some violence. That's what the defense in its closing arguments has been sharing with jurors, that this was sudden passion. And it came in the closing statements in the punishment phase after jurors clearly rejected the idea of self-defense in guilt or innocence. Mike Howard said, even though self-defense may not apply, when we react in a moment when our mind has not had time to process and calm down and time for cool reflection, that is different from when we have time to think and still do something bad, as he asked these jurors to consider sudden passion as a mitigating factor here as they assess punishment for Karmelo Anthony. But let me share with you what Bill Werski said. Sudden passion does not mean blaming Austin or Hunter Metcalf. That is not what this is about. Sudden passion is not the reason, he said.
Real quick, y'all, while they talking that fucking goofy stuff. I see this is now finna be the clip. I done seen it a couple times already. This finna be the clip, the little viral clip that they want to try to get their little.
When they gave.
Look, let me set it up. This is the one that they finna get these little jollies off. You know they love Negro trauma porn, and they was hunting around till they find it. And I bet you this finna be the one. This the one they finna tickle themselves to. Because you know the lady is distraught, rightfully so. She got kids and all that, and you know, unlike people who know what the deal is, this is why I say it's good, because it's showing. This shows that it shows some people that it ain't the kumbaya you thought it was, homeboy. Yeah. You thought it was sweet, right? You thought it was sweet out here in these streets, but this is the new clip, though. This is the one they want to tickle themselves to. Y'all finna see a whole bunch of palm-colored people walking around with their hands in their pocket, diddling themselves. Watch.
When they gave Karmelo the verdict, he broke down and he cried. He broke down and he cried.
How do you know that?
He broke down. She was in there with him.
Hold on one second.
Be on camera. She broke down and cried.
So look, you see how he even playing in her face? What camera do? What news anchor plays in somebody who was clearly distraught's face like that, other than black people? He even in on it. Real talk. This finna be the new clip. This finna be the new clip. Here you go.
Oh, explain to me what the
When
woman
they
inside.
came back with the verdict.
Look, he explained to me what the woman inside. Now, I don't know if he's trying to clear that up for journalistic integrity, so I ain't gonna go too hard on him. But I feel like he playing in her face.
He broke down and he cried. Somber. That family nurse not good. That boy's not good. You been in there. I done talked to you before. You been in there. That boy's small. That boy broke down and cried. They done fucked up the rest of this boy's life.
When you're out here and you see all these people, you've been here every day. I know. When you hear that verdict read, I saw you break down to the ground. What's going through your heart? What's going through your head right now?
Yeah, nigga, it's you. It's you. You asking like where he at? It's you. It's you. We can tell it and smell it. As soon as you come around by all the little stupid little stuff you say, it's you. It's you. Carry on. Let me go ahead and carry. But look, like this the clip, y'all. They love black trauma. They love black pain. This makes them oh so aroused. You finna see people all over the country excusing themselves to the bathroom because they got to get one off because they're just so overstimulated. Just like dude right now, just like dude in the comment section right now. Y'all, we dealing with the post that the verdict was read, he got it off, and now you know what I'm saying, he relishing in it. You know what I'm saying? Had to get that pent up admiration for injustice off. That's so weird how that makes y'all feel, how it tickles you in the right spot, don't it? It's weird. That's why they always be talking that bussy stuff. I'm surprised he ain't coming here and say no bussiness. You know that's next. You know that's next. Maybe allude to something like what's gonna happen to Karmelo in jail. Look out for that one. You know that's coming. You know that's coming. After they done diddling themselves and they done cleaned up and wiped off, then they're gonna be talking about what's gonna happen to Karmelo in jail because that's their next thoughts. Because they wanted to be a cellmate. It's crazy. The obsession is crazy. Yeah, because he got one hand on the computer and one hand on the other, and he got like the two screens up, and on one side he's got on repeat the verdict. The verdict is playing out loud on the surround sound right now, and you know what I'm saying, he just came out the bathroom smoking a cigarette. You know what I'm saying? Then he decides to get online and see what's going on. Now, because he sat back for a minute to think about what it would be like to be his Karmelo cellmate. You know what I'm saying? What blacks do you know? Right. Blacks. You know blacks. Those blacks. Look, it even comes out in the way they type. Blacks. You're ridiculous, my man. But here, this they new viral joint.
Why do we have to care anymore? Why are we even here? To be honest, why are we here? What are we here for? Because if we take up for ourselves, we go to jail. If we don't, we die. So it's a catch-22 in this situation. What do you want us to do? That's right. What?
Now, regardless of how you feel about the message, she telling some truth now.
What do you want us to do at this point? What? I'm lost for words. I don't know what to do. I got 5 boys. I don't know what. I ain't got nothing to tell them no more. You can't walk away no more.
Rest in peace, Trayvon Martin.
Let me ask you this right now. I hear the frustration. Are you more angry or more sad as to what just happened?
Nigga, what kind of question is that? What did you go to, the Acme School of Reporting? What? Do you feel sad or do you still feel disappointed? What?
I'm angry and I'm hurt. I'm angry because he.
Right. God darn it, McGarnett.
Are you more angry or more sad as to what just?
Are you more angry or are you more sad? Like she can't be both at the same time? He playing in her face. I'm convinced about it.
I'm angry and I'm hurt. I'm angry because you were in there. I was in there too.
Right.
Those witnesses were lying on him. You got the judge friends with the prosecutor. Let's start there. The judge was falling asleep. Some juries was falling asleep and didn't even have a damn notepad. Y'all didn't take this shit seriously.
All right, Austin.
I don't care where the message coming from when you're telling the truth. You're telling the truth. They thinking they doing a little aha moment by keep playing that clip over, but that's just showing me that that's something that y'all like to diddle to.
Come this way because it looks like the crowd is moving, and we're just gonna. Connell, stay with us. Yep. As the crowd kind of goes this way, we're just gonna kind of make sure. Come this way. So, this. Excuse me, sir. Is this the Anthony family?
Yeah. We love y'all.
So Connell.
I want to go talk to them. They're going to go over there in the grass.
Okay.
Not out here in the road.
So it looks like family is leaving right now.
You did a damn good job representing him.
So this is the Anthony family representation. Connell, he's been speaking.
Well, obviously they didn't do a good job. I mean, there was that. I ain't gonna do that. I ain't gonna do that because we already know what they was up against. I ain't gonna do that.
On behalf of the family. I got you, Connell.
I was going to say, I'm not sure if you're going to be able to have this conversation now, but if you are going to have it here, I thought it was going to be a different location. Let's just listen live to this. And then Rich McHugh in a moment has a Metcalf family statement that'll put some more context. But this is on the Karmelo Anthony side, just out of the courthouse. All right, go ahead, X.
Sorry, brother.
Indeed.
So that I can be able to.
I'm gonna duck down.
I will say this one time, and one time only. I speak on behalf of myself, Minister Dominique Alexander. I speak on behalf of myself as president of the Next Generation Action Network. The Next Generation Action Network wanted to respect this process, to be able to make sure that nobody said that the Next Generation Action Network is this process, feared in this process. But what this process did is shown that black lives do not matter in Collin County. It showed us that time and time in American history, it has shown emotions.
What?
It put emotions over the law. After Trayvon Martin and so many countless names, it has shown us that black life is not safe in Collin County. It showed us that they did not listen to the law. It showed clearly that a judge interfered in this process. It showed very clearly that a black boy was allowed, not one black soul on a jury. An all white jury convicted him in 2 to 3 hours. We know that they did not prove their case. They are currently sentencing Karmelo Anthony, but we know that the Next Generation Action Network put the first $10,000 towards an appellate attorney. And we will fight Collin County like hell. I respected this process. I allowed and called for peace in this process. But Black America should be very upset about what went on today.
When they gave Karmelo the verdict, he broke down and he cried. He broke down and he cried.
How do you know that?
He broke down. She was sitting there with him.
Hold on one second.
Be on camera. She broke down and cried.
Yeah, they are. You know what? Yeah, it is going to be a hot summer. Yeah, it's definitely going to turn up a little bit. Whew, it is. because now you got these little goofies out there that's finna think it's all good, and it's really not gonna be. Because you gotta keep your power tools. You gotta keep. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, man. I'm gonna reserve my judgment for that particular subject because it ain't about that right now. But I got my.
Gave Karmelo the verdict. When they gave Karmelo the verdict, he broke down. He broke down. When they
damn, hold on, I don't know why.
Cried. He broke down and he cried.
Okay, hold on. Yeah. See, that's funny. They were sending me all the bullshit before. Now they ain't showing it to me no more. Oh, Nadalak, my man Nadalak. What Nadalak?
Oh, and another thing I just forgot. You think about that shit. You think about them people be done made up their mind what they finna either charge you guilty of or you finna be not guilty of as soon as they sit in that seat. The lawyers and prosecutors will tell you the most unorthodox or what you want to say, unable to know the outcome is when it goes to a jury. It's all about who you picked or who the court picked and who's serving that jury duty. That's what it comes down to. It ain't no joke. It ain't no joke, bro. For real. That's why a lot of times when blacks got killed and the whole town knew what happened, that motherfucker walked, didn't he? That's how powerful the jury is in a trial in America. I am so serious. Karmelo Anthony did not stand a frog, didn't stand a snowball chance in hell. He was finna get melted. For real. Because the public opinion made that choice. Everybody watched the O.J. Simpson trial. Every one of these big trials, you look at who was in the jury. The only problem, like I said, the only problem I got is them 5 black jurors that was on trial, that was in there, decided against Cyrus. Those the people that caused all them problems in South Carolina. The white power struggle be done made their decision long before that shit hit the trial. Long before that shit come to court. They said, listen, put some black people as the jury. Let's put the black person as the lawyer. Let's get the black person as the prosecutor. Now, if y'all don't get this shit right, ain't no help for you niggas. That's what I'm so glad that the Karmelo Anthony guilty verdict and the Rick Chow for killing Cyrus came back to back like that. Wow. I hope that was a learning experience for all of you. That's what it comes down to. You will be judged by a jury of your peers. And let me tell you something. Picking them 12 people, oh, that means something. How many conversations you done had with somebody and you done gave them fact after fact after fact after fact, and them motherfuckers still don't believe nothing you said? Them the type of people in the jury trial. The only thing I can tell you is do your damnedest, do your best never to get in the position to where 12 people would decide your fate.
Damn, he right.
You know, because it can go either way. The motherfuckers like you, you go home. They don't like you, life in prison without the possibility of parole. Death penalty. Yeah. That's how serious it is. I sure hope y'all paying attention to this video. I'm too real and try to give y'all the truth too many times for y'all to be missing the Nadalak speech.
Nadalak.
For real. Rick Chow and all them Black Panthers running up there from Florida, where I'm from. I ain't from Tampa, I'm from Jacksonville. And I've always supported the Panthers and things of that nature. But they ain't even need to come to Columbia. Y'all have 5 dummies. Look, 5 dummy juries, a dummy lawyer. Hey, bro, there were so many black people in that trial. Why? How you think them white people said, you know what? This is South Carolina, and I'll be damned if I'm finna have a foreigner kill one of my niggas. Or because I mean, granted, South Carolina is racist, but it's a lot of white people that kind of coincide with blacks. When the sheriff, Mr. Sheriff Lott, said, I ain't believing that shit either. If he out there, how many other white people you think agreed with that dumbass shit you niggas did in that courtroom? You 5 motherfuckers need your ass whooped. For real. The Oriental people ain't did shit. They have not earned none of that shit. Okay, women though. Rick Child, Andy Child, jackasses, and the mama up there, hurry up and buy. Yeah, okay, so they did that shit. But the justice system already said, I'm gonna put niggas on the prosecutor, nigga lawyer. 5.
You are going to see.
All right, I feel you. He was right about that though. Like what he said, he was spitting. He started going a little off. I was curious of what this dude wasn't. This dude like the hey, wasn't this the dude that wasn't this the mayor of New York at one time? Chris Cuomo. Wasn't he the mayor? Hold on. Hold on. I think they're coming back though.
Close to 3 hours before finding Karmelo Anthony guilty of murder. Good evening. I'm Clarice Tinsley. Sky 4 in McKinney over the Collin County Courthouse is going to give us a view of the situation there where the jury rejected Anthony's claim that he stabbed and killed Austin Metcalf in self-defense at a Frisco track meet. The prosecution argued no reasonable person would have responded with such violence. We have several crews covering this emotional case, and right now we begin with Fox 4's Alex Boyer, who's covered this trial from the beginning.
Is it me or is they talking real spicy on the motherfucking news? I don't never really remember news commentary having spicy digs in it. I thought the news was neutral and informative. Is that just me? Is the news talking spicy as hell? I'm talking about super spicy. They rejected his claim. Like the way she said, I'm just saying, I'm very receptive to tone and the way people say shit and all of that. And I'm just saying, every news person that everything that we hearing, are they just spicy? I like Cuz right here. He be busting down some realness. CJ Jonan. He said he had a reaction. Carmelo's dad reacts to the son being found guilty.
Karmelo Anthony was found guilty. This is his father's reaction.
It's so very clear.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I didn't know that was his dad. Oh, this whole time I didn't know that was his dad that we was watching. Okay, I thought that was a part of his defense. Okay, okay, I got that. I got that wrong. I didn't know that was his dad. Did y'all know that was his dad? Let's see. Okay, so that's his dad. I wanted to hear what Chris Cuomo had to say about it because I know he probably got political aspirations. So I bet you he's going to be empathetic but not sympathetic. He's going to try, but he's going to tiptoe. I already know where this is going. Oh, hold on, my bad. I'm thinking y'all watching this shit like me.
Acknowledged it and
going for a minute, y'all. Give me a little grace, man. My bad. Hold on. Here we go.
Breaking.
I was referring to Chris Como because I thought what he said was pretty interesting. But I know he has political aspirations, so I'm gonna take that with a grain of salt. But he was spitting some facts.
News. The Karmelo Anthony verdict is in, and he has been found guilty in under 3 hours. Now, it is a very simple fact pattern. And the damning fact is not simply that Karmelo Anthony told officers right away that he did it, that there was nothing alleged about it, and he said it was self-defense right away, but it was a head-on plunged knife into the chest of the victim, another teenager. You know the fact pattern. Karmelo Anthony, young black kid at a track meet. Some white kids tell him to get out of a tent that was there for the rain, but it was only for their team and not his team. And he says something to one, and one says something back, and there's someone else there, and a knife comes out, and Karmelo Anthony plunges it into the chest of another teen, and he dies. Is it self-defense? The jury was all white. The prosecutors say this is a race-neutral crime. This is a very fraught situation that now is going to have these obvious indications of bias. Why did it have to be all white? Why couldn't it have black jurors? What does race neutral mean? What did it mean in this context? Is this justice? Does 3 hours mean that it was just a simple pattern and he had acknowledged it and it couldn't be seen any other way? If a black jury had been involved, they also often find black defendants guilty. Would black people on the jury have made a difference? Should there have been black people on the jury anyway? This has been covered constitutionally. Do you have to have mixed race to reflect the race of the defendant and anybody else? No. That is not a constitutional protection of equal protection or of due process.
And it should be, and y'all made it that way just for shit like this. And so with that being said, y'all exercise your little devious white supremacist ways to set it up and fry the boy. That's what you did. But go on.
If you're black, you don't have to have black jurors. If you're white, you don't have to have white jurors. However, there can be issues based on bias. Is this one of those cases? Breaking news. The Karmelo Anthony verdict is in, and he has been found guilty in under 3 hours. Now, it is a very simple fact pattern. And the damning fact is not simply that.
My bad. I'm trying to get to the video. But shit, come on, Chris. Chris, spare me with that. Cuomo, come on now. I'm gonna tell people they acting Cuomo. That I'm gonna make him a euphemism. Y'all need to stop acting Cuomo. Because that was definitely some Cuomo. All right, y'all. It doesn't look like they're actually going to do the verdict today. I think they know that they don't want to strike when the iron's hot. I think that's the case. And I think they're going to hold it out probably until tomorrow because it's way past the end of the day. They keep playing a loop over here on this stream.
Told me that they want to be here when that sentence.
We got that started at 4:37 this afternoon.
Yeah, exactly 1 hour ago. It's now 5:37 p.m. They've been deliberating for an hour. Want to say this real quick. It'll be interesting to see how many people stay after the sun goes down if the jury has not returned with a verdict before sunset. But perhaps as the evening wears on, the crowd will perhaps dwindle in size. There will be another reaction, and that is whenever the ultimate sentence is announced. And speaking of that, in the punishment phase, there was one witness, only one witness, and that was the mother of Karmelo Anthony, Kayla Hayes. She wept on the witness stand.
Wow, I was confused about that too, but I don't know. I don't know how this shit go. I don't know if I would. I don't know. I don't even know how this go. I'm not even gonna make any assertions either way because if I don't know, I just don't know. But it doesn't look like it seems like they keep coming with this P-Winkle.
Her son,
and they ain't gonna say it because I don't think they're gonna say it because I think the tension is too high.
Crying as good soul. Only
that's what they alluding to. That the tensions is high because it's already been an hour after. You know, I don't know if staff and all of it. Well, yeah, they milking it. No, they probably salary. So nobody's really trying to stay longer than they really want to. You can even tell how they handle the case, period, you know. But yeah, we'll have to see on this one. This one's pretty funny right here. This is a funny bunny situation. I don't think they're gonna do it just because they already dropped one bomb, unless they're just trying to double dip.
And so we believe the jurors will work through the evening, could very well come back tonight with their final decision.
And Sean, that final decision has to be unanimous, right?
The punishment must be agreed upon by all, yes.
All right, Sean Rabb in our digital studio. Sean, thank you. Fox 4 is committed to keeping you up to date on this case. If there is a sentence update from the courtroom, we will be live on the Fox local app. Make sure you turn on.
If they do go live, I'm gonna tap back in. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And I ain't gonna hold you, but I'm gonna mold you, fold you, and scold you about being on code. And you know, I got 4 words for you. I need you to go ahead and subscribe for the vibes, like for the spike, comment your vomit, share if you care about getting Black empowerment everywhere. Please do that on the platforms that we are on, Jones. And just to bring it all the way home before I'm gone, I need y'all to go ahead over there to sayitwithyourchest.com. That's SAYITWITYOCHESS.com. Say it with your chest, say it with your moves, say it with if you ain't scared, say it. If you ain't scared, wear it. I gotta figure out what I said the other day. That was pretty dope. I gotta go back because I said I was gonna say that again. Sometimes I just be talking, but yeah, go over there and go cop y'all a couple of them joints. You dig what I'm saying? Peace, sis. I'm gonna tap in with you. Matter of fact, follow me on Facebook so we can be friends, and then you can DM me and shit, and we can chop it up. So we can craft the next joint. Matter of fact, if some shit happened live today, I might. If the verdict happened again, I'm jumping right back in. You did? For sure, y'all. I appreciate everybody tapping in, man. Be one to the family, man. I appreciate y'all tapping in. We gonna get them, y'all. You know what I'm saying? This is for every inch that we take, they trying to take another inch back. The shit ain't never gonna stop, and it's be one till it's done. Period. Love, peace, blessings, and aloha. I'm out the Doha for Shoha. You already know.